never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big...
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the storm. Community, zero.
There's nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning or just pure socialization and fandom. Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient, in my opinion, tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And, that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, 1 billion impressions and 1 million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community let's just start with on campus?
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time it was Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the third month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our LANs, our club meetings, and everything from that. It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional esports is having this tribalism problem because it's the majority of it's online. It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, that's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the NJCAAE Overwatch Quarterfinals. I am Cyclones, joined by my good friend and co-caster, Clutch Key. We are super excited to jump into this one because not only is the map pool interesting, but both these teams completely undefeated through and through. And Clutch, as the brackets always work, somebody's got to lose, and that has to happen right here, right now.
Yeah, 1 versus 8 you're looking at, right? Dallas College, Richland Thunder Ducks. Love the mascot, by the way, Thunder Ducks.
It's a good one.
It's a great one, but 6-0 in the regular season. And then St. Clair College, I think a lot of some of the teams will know their name just a little bit more. They went 5-0 in the regular season, and then went in the Overwatch Collegiate Fall 2022 season, the 8-2, landing up in 14th place overall, within the top of the standings. So the Saints, I mean, despite what the seeding number says, it's only because of that one less game that St. Clair College isn't up there with like the 4-3-2 or 1s. But if you're looking at the Saints record and the Saints prestige overall from both Overwatch Collegiate and here in NJCAAE, right now the Saints, I mean, they have an advantage, but you never know, right? Dallas College went 6-0, and that's not for no reason either.
Yeah, you don't go 6-0 on accident, right? Like, these are two high-caliber teams. Nobody's lost a series so far, but somebody has to do so today. I believe this will be their first time playing in NJCAAE in the current patch, the current meta that we are in. So I suspect to see a lot of Doomfist coming out the gate early on. Sojourn possibly still. The only real DPS that feels set in stone is, of course, that Reaper guy, and we love that Reaper guy. So maybe we see him once again. But Lijiang Tower, one of my favorite maps in the game. As a Junkrat player, of course, it makes a lot of sense. But another reason I love this as a caster, as a spectator, is you can really play almost any character in the game on Lijiang Tower, and it doesn't feel like a throw pick.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we've seen so many different things, right? I mean, Lijiang kind of feels like the King's Row, or the Scrim's Row, if you will, for some of these teams, right? I mean, it's such a favorite for a lot of these teams, and King's Row does the same thing, too. And look, with the patch notes at the same time, you said it, too, right? Doomfist is going to be one of the ones that are probably going to get pulled out. I know one of the matches that I saw, the healing line really didn't change. Lucio Kiriko was still going to get involved in some of these metas as well. And look, we've only had about 3 days since this patch released, right? Dropped on December 6th back on Tuesday, and now it's Friday, so about 3 days since then. So these teams are going to find out a little bit more of what their meta is going to pull out. Now, again, I suspect Doomfist, Kiriko, Lucio at the very least, and then Tracer as well. Tracer increased damage is probably going to give you a little bit more sensibility as to what they're going to play. But right now, and you can see St. Clair, right? They're going to pick the Tracer, and you're looking at the Reaper guy as well. Holy Juan is going to be playing that Reaper as well. I mean, if this holds true right now, as it stands, if they come out with this, then yeah, I mean, I love the Tracer pick, and I love how fast-paced St. Clair is going to go here.
It looks like it's maybe just absolute pedal to the metal early on. The Catcher Blast does come out from that floor, but it's going to fall a little bit towards 4. I can't find that opening elimination. Dallas College, they want to rotate in quick to the site. That Reinhardt has to play up close and personal. He's got to play on site, but there's a lot of burst damage on the opposing side. That Sombra is going to be taken out early on, and oh, Sora finds that first blood. Equalized quick. Chill Bill goes down. A lot of healing offline for Dallas College, but a resurrection could be just around the corner, and there it is. The full 4 now as Sombra has gone down, but I don't know if it was late enough. Apostle finds Miramu, and unfortunately Dallas College, they have to kiss fight number 1 goodbye. Keegan, I hope you don't mind me dipping into your time just a little bit here, but this is a tough comp to run because Reinhardt, Sombra up close and personal, Pharmercy as far away as possible, so it was really difficult for this team to coordinate.
Yeah, they're playing different distances, right? You're talking about how you got to be up close and personal with the Reinhardt, but the Pharmacy goes a little bit far away. You like Pharmacy on here, but unfortunately, St. Clair just going way too fast for them. And now Grubby and Apostle's already going to have their ultimates coming up here, so now it's just got to be all systems go here for Dallas if they want to try to win.
All systems go indeed. The Pharmacy can definitely work, but something like a D.Va or a Winston to support that Pharah in the air can be much more helpful. We see the hack go onto the Winston early on. It looks like the team collapses, but not fast enough. Primal Rage just around the corner. Juan farming a lot of damage here. Hasn't really had to do much so far, but it's getting plenty done. Primal Rage deeper into the backline. Sombra already missing Ana. Popped the sleep dart, and she missed it. I love this long, it's slow and steady gameplay. Sora finds Injustice, but at the cost of everyone else. Unfortunately, St. Clair, they're going to win that fight pretty heftily there.
Yeah, and you would think with such far-off things, you'd want to switch off of this Pharmacy combo. And look, Dallas is going to switch up a little bit, a couple of things, right? They're going to go to the Echo. They're going to go to the Orisa. Orisa can play up a little bit closer, but again, this far-off distance to close-range distance is not really working out for Dallas. Now, you're going to have a nano boost, but, I mean, your only nano boost option is probably going to be this Orisa, who has to come up big and has to build an ult fast if they want to match St. Clair, because that Kitsune Rush is going to be big for St. Clair.
And speaking of the Devil and He Shall Appear, Kitsune Rush comes out early. The Orisa doesn't get melted to completion, but she loses most of her HP, and Chill Bill again, the first one to go down. Ana in such a terrible spot right now, a very difficult character to play, and I think Dallas is learning that the hard way. Anything she can do, someone else can do better with more mobility to stay alive, and that's part of the reason she just cannot be viable. Chill Bill swaps onto the Moira, but Keegan, I think we're looking at a too little too late situation. St. Clair should have first point.
Yeah, this is way too little too late. This is desperation, which is just a touch at this point. I don't think they might even get it.
I don't know if they will either, and if they do, it's just going to be one person struggling to keep the point alive. They find the touch. Holy Quan goes down. Could this be Dallas College's first time to really get into the fray? Pulse Bomb online. Grub is going to be able to find it, and it's going to go on to the Orisa, but Apostle finds one. Chill Bill also down. Finzi can't stay alive long enough, and St. Clair, they're going to win out Lijiang Gardens 100-0 here. Poor Sora just can't do enough, and Grubby, I mean, fully aware of not only the real buff on Tracer, but the shadow buff as well, where if she sticks her Pulse Bomb, she does not take damage if it explodes.
Yeah, and you also got to point out, too, here with the patch notes as well, while they took out the movement speed that you get off of an elimination, you also get an increased reload speed as well. So Tracer just becomes that much more important, especially in a fast composition like St. Clair's playing. They're basically playing the Overwatch 2 version of what I would say is a dive composition, right? Yeah. You've got that Reaper just going right in. Same thing with the Tracer and the Winston as well. And all you got to do is boost up with a Kitsune Rush or as well as a Lucio in any which way or form. St. Clair's playing this dive perfectly. Now, what Dallas has to do is try to respond to the dive, maybe playing their dive of their own, or in Dallas's case, maybe even going Reaper on their own to try to cancel it out. Again, I'm not too sure about this Mercy pick. Yes, Mercy is a popular pick for some people, but I'm not too sure this is working out right now because the Kiriko Lucio just shows that much healing is just too powerful for Dallas to overcome right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and a huge part of the reason Mercy gets any value is those resurrections, which are being completely voided every single time. If the resurrection does come out, Miramu gives their life for it, and then it was essentially worthless to begin with. Already Apostle finds Vinci. Winston just going to demolish that Zarya early on, forcing Dallas to hold that S key before they can even remember which one is the forward button. Apostle goes deep into the back line, trying to catch up the Sojourn, but now you've got to be careful because if the Sojourn can get value, that's where things can get scary. Both players going to try to make it out. I don't think either of them going to be successful. Sojourn slides away, and St. Clair with a dominant first fight win. Binzi on the Reinhardt here. Keegan, I love Reinhardt more than anybody I know, and I still think this is a terrible choice.
Yes, it's not looking the greatest right now. Again, the switches off from the tanks. It's almost like maybe playing Mystery Heroes a little bit with the Reinhardt and the Orisa. It's not really working out for you. And look, St. Clair's dive is perfect right now. They are target focusing well, and here we go again. They're going to go right on this Rein.
And it feels like we're trying to see comfort picks, but they can't figure out what's comfortable. They just keep swapping. They keep rotating. And I gotta say, I'm not sure the tank is necessarily the problem right now. It's the survivability that has proven to be difficult for the side of Dallas College. And maybe that does go back to that support line. Maybe that does go back to getting off Moira, getting onto Moira from Mercy. Gonna swap onto the Cassidy. I think that's a great pick as well. Gonna make it a little harder for Grubby to get value. Dallas College, it feels like they're throwing everything at the wall, and they just cannot figure out what they need to do to make it stick.
Right, and St. Clair at the same time, right? They have a defensive ult such as a Lucio to go in. Dallas College doesn't have that. Your best chance is going to be a Coalescence to try to keep your team up. That's about it. So again, Dallas College now switching off to a Diva. May not be the pick here, but we'll see if it works out because this Reaper's just going to tear up in your back line.
Reaper in the back line almost has that Beyblade online. Grubby, a great example of how important the Pulse Bomb can be. Binti losing a majority of their health, and Miramu, the first one to get sent back to the spawn room. Oh, nobody to eat it, and holy Quad is hungry. A 5K Death Blossom play of the game guaranteed, and possibly the last power play we see here on Lijiang Tower. Hits the emote, hits the voice line, and is feeling mighty good about St. Clair's chances here in the rest of this series. Only 30 seconds left for Dallas College to do something.
Yeah, you notice when Binzi gets out of mech, his Holy Wand just pops it right out, right? You don't have a defense matrix to defend against it. And look, again, Dallas College, no defensive ult whatsoever to defend against that either. So right now, in desperation situation, they have everything going for them for the Saints, though.
Everything on the table for the Saints. 3 ultimates come out early in an attempt to counter out anything Dallas College can bring to the table, but perhaps this was an overextension. They want to win out this final fight, but if they lose somebody first, that could be the end of it. However, Apostle in the Primal Rage doesn't find 1, doesn't find 2, doesn't find 3, but finds 4 of the 5 standing members of Dallas College. Winton Overwatch dominates the final fight, and St. Clair just absolutely wreaks havoc on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said at the beginning of the stream right here, St. Clair kind of, you know, the seeding is not relevant here when you've got 2 teams that are undefeated, but St. Clair being 8-2 in the Overwatch Collegiate, we've seen them pop off, and they have popped off immensely here, and playing the game doesn't go to Holy Juan. It goes to Apostle because of the environmental kills that happened. But for this team of St. Clair, you saw how they played the dive. You saw how they were able to target focus. And look, when the Winston went right up front to the Reinhardt, you notice that the Reinhardt had to stay where he was, right? He couldn't peel back for anybody else. And same thing for the DPSs, right? You want to focus down that tank, or you want to go for the backline. They just weren't able to do that with the pressure that they had. They didn't have a Tracer. They didn't have a Reaper. I mean, well, they had a Reaper, but not the Tracer Reaper potential that can go in your backline. And we saw that the entire way through. So this meta right now is perfect for St. Clair if they want to play the dive. And they are playing this to perfection. You saw it, not a single percentage point on Lijiang Tower at all for Dallas College. For the Thunderducks, they need to find something out here. Maybe it's a Doomfist swap, because right now it's not an Orisa, it's not a Reinhardt, it's not a D.Va either, because if that D.Va goes out, that defense matrix is absolutely blasted. So right now, I mean, if they want to try the Winston, sure, but it's just, there's a lot of answers that need to be found in such a short amount of time.
Absolutely. So which map type is coming up next before I start theory crafting?
Yeah, so let's theory craft for our next map, which is Push. You've only got 3 to choose from.
Right.
You've got Coliseo, Esperanza, and you've got New Queen Street. I'm thinking right now, if you're going for maybe fan favorite, you're not maybe picking Esperanza for right now, but if you're Dallas College, you're kind of thinking maybe less dive E maps. So maybe you're thinking Coliseo with a lot more long sight lines, or it just might be that for right now. We'll see. Again, it is Dallas College's. I mean, it's Dallas College's pick. So we'll see if that is the case. But I think Coliseo is a better map for them right now, just because it's not really it's more longer sidelines, especially in that first one. But Esperanza is the pick. I mean, again, it's just, I mean, maybe there is longer sight lines there, but I still think it's dive oriented, which means, I mean, this is more of a comfort pick, if anything, right now.
I think so. I think there's a lot of reasons you could be going to Esperanza right now. I think Sigma can get a lot of value here. I think Orisa can, but we saw Orisa really not working out well. And of course, the tank we haven't seen, one of few it feels like that we haven't seen yet, is Roadhog, who is in a very good spot right now. He's an incredibly popular character. He can get a lot of high value against opposing tanks. He can pick almost anybody in the game if you land the hook combo, and can really kind of lead the charge. So maybe we go for a bit of a hog-centric playstyle in Esperanza, because if you're taking out one of their supports, one of their DPS, if you're canceling out that Tracer every time she shows her face, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to walk through you the way that St. Clair was just able to on Lijiang Tower. This is fascinating. There's a lot of things that can be done. Esperanza, one of the newest maps in the game. The meta here was set in stone, but as the newest patches come out, we're not so sure. So I suspect Kiriko Lucio, yes. Sojourn, probably. The other DPS, currently kind of up in the air, but the tank is the thing that is truly up in the air. You can play seemingly anything right now if you can do it well. Right now, it's not about the Thunderducks playing it well. It's about the Thunderducks figuring out how to stop Apostle, because that was just the Apostle show on Lijiang seemingly the entire time. Get him out of the fight, remove him from the fray, and then try to take the rest of it. But as we see that hog lock in once again, the Ryan lock in once again, I'm worried about it. However, one of my favorites is on the screen right now, and I think she can get a lot of value for Dallas if they do this correctly.
Yeah, and you've got, if you got the Mei out, I mean, we were talking about this behind the scenes, right? Your two favorite characters, Junkrat, Mei. So Mei now out. I think this can stop what the dive is, right? You just got to be able, it'll slow you down, but the question is, are you going to be able to provide enough damage to follow up that slowdown? That's the biggest question for Dallas, right? So now you're coming out here, and again, St. Clair, don't fix what's not broken, play the exact same thing. So this first fight will tell us if this Mei is going to work out or not.
Yeah, they need to read Apostle's primary jump in. If they leave you wall up behind them and the rest of the team needs to collapse, it is necessary. The team focus that tank, which is something we are trying to train ourselves to no longer do in Overwatch. You want to get rid of the rest of the team first, but right now, holding out of the lead, I love the play. Apostle drops early, and it's the Lucio. No! The Suzu keeps him alive, and Chill Bill is going to fall first. Ana, no offense to Chill Bill, Ana's such a terrible character right now, and they're learning that the hard way. The Pharah finds a two-piece, Binti finds one of their own, Resurrection comes through, and Dallas College should have this first fight win, unless they lose a 5v1, but now it's a 5v none. Sora finds Grubby, and Dallas College, they do win it out. The ult charge in the lead. They've got an insane potential here.
Yeah, and what you didn't notice in the background was Grubby on that Tracer wasn't able to get it close, so they decided Grubby's going to push the bot instead. Unfortunately, what that means is you're playing a 5v4, and now Dallas is going to take the lead on you. So yes, this Mei is working for you, and keep it going if you're Dallas College.
Yeah, keep the Mei running here, and I love the utilization of the walls, because it turns out, Apostle's holding the leaps to make sure they don't get walled in, and Soldier doesn't have an ability like that. Lucio's going to struggle to get out of the way in time. So utilizing these walls to split the team is the primary focus. Now, you lose your support early on, Miramu goes down, and it looks like the Lucio may not be far behind St. Clair, but Lindsay gets focused out, gets fully folded, and 24 meters, I mean, Keegan, that's almost nothing.
Yeah, that's basically nothing. That was such a good defensive hold from St. Clair, and then they're going to push it right back to the lead. Grubby onto this soldier now is just going to make such a big difference because Grubby is so far back right that basically, I mean, now you're trying to shoot down the Faro, so you don't have to worry about that. Right. And then also, you stay far away from Soda, who has that May, and is going to have a Blizzard up too, but he's so far away now that May doesn't even matter on Grubby. So Grubby can just lay back and stay back there and just have a fun time with what they've got.
Yeah, and an issue a lot of Mays continuously do is they forget about that right click. No damage fall off. It's a projectile. It can hit, and it can hit strong if you give it the room to. Something a lot of players struggle to remember. Right now, Grubby has been removed from the front. A very confusing Blizzard from Sora, but one that makes a lot of space. They whiff the wall. Ice block not online, and Apostle chases them till the bitter end, removing them from this mortal coil. St. Clair, in a fight that feels like they should have lost, they're going to win it in troves. Apostle going deep for that elimination, but turns out he doesn't need it. First point already capped.
Yeah, that Blizzard was a little confusing. You had nobody there to follow him. I mean, that might have been just a miscommunication or maybe a miscue there.
I think it was to prevent them from capping, but
yeah, but it still wouldn't have mattered.
No one's there.
Yeah, it's basically useless when no one's back there, right? So now you've got 2 ultimates online for St. Clair, 3 for Dallas College. I mean, if Dallas College is going to win, it needs to be in this fight because they are losing a lot of meters. They're already down 50, but watch this Reaper.
Oh no, sneaks into the back line. Wow, I'm honestly shocked that got any value. It feels like he pulled it a little early. The distance was there, but the team actually backpedaled into him, trying to run from the rest of St. Clair. Definitely a play that's going to hurt Dallas College. They've kind of resorted back to this musical heroes situation, and they've got 3 ultimates moving into the fight, and they give up one of them just to completely not even try to get that Earth Shatter out. Keegan backs against the wall. It has barely been 3 minutes, and Dallas College just cannot find the recovery.
Oh, not at all. Now Pac Visor's going to get pulled out. This kind of needs to be, they just need to cut away. Good cut away, though, from them to start.
Yeah, a huge cut there, negating that entirety of the visor, excuse me. Here comes that Winston once again. Winston Overwatch deleted the Nano Barrage, something I haven't seen in months, but clearly it gets the value it needs. And the scariest thing about Push, as long as there is time on the clock, this map is winnable. And I really do believe that. If Dallas can keep up this hyper-aggression, they should be able to flip the numbers, but they need to win, what is it, 4 fights in a row to take the lead over St. Clair.
Yeah, at least. But the way St. Clair is playing, remember, they only got 24 meters to start. It's not like they got like 30 or 40 from the very get-go, right? It's not like they're super close to that first checkpoint either. So yeah, it's going to be at least 4 fights. But you look at the way that Dallas is positioning themselves right now. I mean, they're just pushing forward. St. Clair's going to go all around them for right now. But how long does this hold? Stomberry's going to go out first.
Stomberry first. The Fara already falling on the side of Dallas. But with that additional HP boost St. Clair has, that should be their green light to get real hyper-aggressive. Miramu caught out on the Lucio. Can Guardian Angel out of the way. Apostle finds the Elam. Sora gets a pick onto Grave with a pulse bomb, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Dallas to turn it around. Binzi down, Sora falls, and that's going to be St. Clair. Another fight win. Keegan, they don't have to win this map in completion. They just need a bigger number at the end of it.
Yeah, and that's the point of push, right? But again, Dallas College, one of the biggest problems, no defensive ults or no lead-in ults, except for a nano boost, maybe. Valkyrie's only going to get you multiple healing or multiple power boosts at the same time, but it's not really of value to you. So again, no defensive ultimates like a Lucio or a Transcendence here to use. Dallas College in a really tough spot, especially right at the end.
I love the soldier swap here, but I don't know why you're not on the high ground. Being in the front line like this just pulls attention to you and could cost you your life early on. Winston Bubble falls. Apostle desperate to form this Primal Rage, and he should be able to before he goes down. Oh, just barely Sora going to clip his wings early on. The Holy Juan falls just afterwards. Sora does get traded out by Grave, but it may be too late for St. Clair to capitalize. Grubby, that had to be sub 10 HP, but you lived, and that's all that matters. The Resurrection online. Dallas College, they're in the driver's seat. How long can they stay here?
Oh, they're pushing it up, but again, this is where they got caught out last time, right? They couldn't kill the entire team, so now they're forced all the way back, and now Dallas College needs to win this. They have the Terror Surge, but no defensive ults either. Just need to get rid of an Immortality Field.
Yeah, Terror Surge, a pretty stinky ultimate, a hard one to get eliminations with unless somebody walks right into you, but Death Blossom, a lot easier to find eliminations with. It's just about pressing that Q, holding W, and finding 3 picks just like that. The Holy Juan, I mean, the MVP right now for the side of St. Clair. All 5 of them doing great, but when a fight needs one, Juan gets it done.
Yeah, and now, again, Dallas College, Binzi just going to be playing a little bit of Mystery Heroes here. I mean, you switched to Orisa, saw the Reinhardt, now you're going to see the Diva yet again, but if that Diva mech goes out, this is going to be all over for Dallas College, and St. Clair right now needs to come up big.
Yo, Grubby, I love it. You got to stop jumping off the high ground, though. I don't know what's up with the soldiers and doing that, but hey, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Clearly, St. Clair doesn't need any advice from my little diamond butt, so St. Clair is going to be finding just aggression, power play, moving forward. No ultimates can exist. The soldier pops visor in just a desperate attempt, but St. Clair, they win that one out in completion. A phenomenal job, and now they're only one map away from winning this out 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a good map there from St. Clair to just push right in. And remember, they didn't change anything except for one character, and that was the soldier to push away from what Dallas College was providing. And I think actually Holy Juan got put, that's what I thought. Holy Juan got pushed by Binti into the rest of the team, which gave him the 3K there and the fight win and essentially the map win too. So the most unfortunate part about this was pushing into the rest of the team. But again, for the side of Dallas College, right, they're playing everything that, I mean, you play the pharmacy, sure, again, it's comfort, but it's not meta, right? If you're playing comfort, it might not be the best case option here, especially on the fact that you're letting Holy Juan get all these 3K, 4K, like 2K Death Blossoms, right? If you're letting these Death Blossoms or these DPS ults get value, it's no defensive ult either. Again, we haven't seen a Lucio. We haven't seen Transcendence either. We haven't seen a Zenyatta or a Lucio in any single case, right? And Kiriko Lucio's been the meta for so long because you have that Kitsune Rush and you also have the defensive ult of the Lucio as well. Basically speaking, it is free range for St. Clair to just walk right in and ult out everything. They just can throw out the kitchen sink, they can throw out the house, they can throw out the entire street, and it wouldn't even matter. Dallas College has nothing to respond to it, so that's their number one problem right now. I think, at least for them, they have nothing to engage with or engage after the fact that they use ultimates. For St. Clair right now, they're playing the meta perfectly. I don't know what else you want them to do at this point. Completing the map,
they can't be doing it better.
Yeah, they cannot be stopped. The number 8 seed right now, sorry to say this, but I think the seeds number should be at least swapped right now, because right now they're just playing a perfect show for St. Clair right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't think you have to play Lucio Kiriko, but if you're not going to play Kiriko, you need to have a Lucio. 100% pick rate in the Overwatch League playoffs. Those are the best players in the whole world. Clearly, they're doing it for a reason. Clearly, there's some importance behind it. I don't think Kiriko is a must pick. Do I think she's great? Do I think she's meta? Yes. Do I think you have to play her to succeed? No. Lucio, however, I mean, he's good. He's clearly good. The speed boost is unmatched, unparalleled, an ability that very few characters in the game can mimic, and none of them being supports except for the Kitsune Rush itself. That's why you pair them together, because, little fun fact, speed boost and Kitsune Rush do stack. Up to 70% additional speed they do stack. And of course, that's no longer achievable because it was bumped down to 30% with Kitsune Rush. But my point stands, Keegan. If you're not going to play Lucio, at least play Zen. You need a defensive ultimate right now because this Reaper is just farming a highlight reel.
Yeah, and I want to point out too, right, you look at all the patch notes that have gone out, and there have been only 3 characters that got to change. Ana, Kiriko, and Mercy are the only 3 supports that got to change, which means Lucio didn't get a change.
Mercy didn't really get
Zenyatta,
a change. Let's be honest.
Okay,
let's be honest.
For the Battle Mercies out there, let's be honest here. And I can see our observer. I'm in studio with our observer, Cole Scoots. He's raising his hands up like, yes, Battle Mercies for the win, but not really working out right now in this case, but still, I mean, there's only 3 that supports that got changed, right?
Yeah.
But Lucio and Zenyatta, Lucio, again, you said it, 100% pick rate in the pro leagues, right?
Only character to ever do that outside of GOATs.
Right, and then Kiriko at the same time too, right? Even if Kiriko got changed with the Kitsune Rush, still meta picks as well. If you don't get a defensive ult in this meta right now, it is looking pretty dire for your situation. So now the next map up is Hybrid. I'm assuming
Kings.
Yeah, well, what else could it be? I mean, it's going to be
let's be
honest,
unless the Thunder Ducks want to run Rhine. I would go Kings. They keep trying to force the Rhine.
Right. If they keep trying to force Rhine, then yeah, I mean, it would the pick would be Kings Row. But again, your risk is that every single team likes this map. Every single team will pick this map. So if you have a second map pick, here's where the advice kicks in, where if you have a second or a third map you like, this is where it could come into play, right? You want to throw them off just a little bit, but if Kings Row is indeed the next pick, it's not looking the greatest here because, again, everybody plays that map, and it's the best map. Unfortunately, right? You said it. It's the best map to force Rein if you want to play this Reinhardt character. So we'll see what he comes up here in a little while as they try to pick sides or if they try to pick the map. But St. Clair needing the big reverse sweep here.
Yeah, with the Thunder Ducks, with the composition they've been bringing out pretty consistently, they wanted to play Mei, they wanted to play Rein. Both those things can work really well on King's Row, which we just got confirmation that is where we're headed. I would love to see, and I know we're just going to think because Septilence likes playing them, he wants to see them. If they go Rein, Mei, Junk right now with a Lucio Kiriko, that is almost an unparalleled level of spam damage. That would make it so unbelievably difficult for this Tracer to sneak into the backline, for this Reaper to appear with ever having to not rake right back out of the fight. I mean, it's all about clipping these DPS early, because if you get rid of that damage, it makes it harder for the tank to engage. It removes Apostles over aggression, holding their W key. The supports constantly have to kind of keep people up and running. They can't do their own damage as much. There is a flowchart right now. All of it revolves around having a defensive ultimate on the side of the Thunder Ducks. That is the number one just glaring issue right now, is they have not been able to counteract the DPS ultimates. If they could do that, I genuinely believe they can at least try to flip this series on its head.
Yeah, I mean, again, defensive ult changes so many things, and we keep saying this throughout the whole thing. The number one thing I've written down, and I will tell you, the number one thing I've written down is that they do not have a Lucio or a Zenyatta to counter anything possible here coming up. And look,
even a Brig at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even a Brig, even a Rally, do something here to try to change it up. I mean, you are, like I said, you're playing comfort picks, right? You're playing a pharmacy. You're playing all these things that are quote unquote comfortable, but it's not the best thing in the world, especially what you're going against. And now you got to win 3 straight to win this whole series. I mean, if you're playing comfort, it might work out once in a while, but in the series, it's not going to work. Yeah. It's not working. And it might not work out in the whole thing. So, right, you're right. And with the spam damage, if you play Mei Junkrat, if you play this Rein, if you play Kiriko Lucio, if you have that 5-stack and you're able to spam that damage all the way through, look, the DPSs have no fun whatsoever. The Tracer's going to have to back off a little bit, got to be aware of traps, got to be aware of so slow from Mei as well. So, all in all, right now, there's got to be a lot of answers needing to be found. And look, even a Torbjorn can do something for you. And if Soda's doing this Torbjorn and holding with it, I mean, that's a good thing for you right now, because you're going to be able to stop a potential Tracer. But if St. Clair holds what they've got, then I know it's probably bait at this point. They're probably going to switch off to,
honestly,
to greater pastures here.
I'm not sure. But yeah, let's not focus on it too much. But that is a composition I've seen run. That's a composition I have run on this map before. It can make a lot of sense here. Dallas College accidentally running a composition that would counter St. Clair's pretty well. I mean, the Diva to eat the Bastion bullets, the Flame Strikes from Reinhardt, and then the Torb to do a really good job kind of reading the teleports, helping the team get a little information. That Mercy is still standing. They're at least going to try the Kiriko again. They're going to try to rock with the Suzu. The composition from St. Clair comes out early. I assume a TP either right on top of Mandata or onto the high ground. It looks like the teleport. Our Observer's going to try to lock on it, and there it is. Jumps right onto the high ground as predicted. There it is. The Diva perfectly counters Bastion early on, and that's a great opening for Dallas College to at least try and win this first fight.
Yeah, and no reses either, which means now they have to kind of back off entirely, and they're not going to switch off from this either. Grubby's going to stay on the Bastion.
It still works.
Pretty interesting. I mean, it still works, true. I mean, Bastion got a big change, right, from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, but now look, Injustice is so caught out, and they're just going to trap both of the supports in here. I mean, this is a great stagger if you can kill them.
That's a big if, unfortunately. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a messy cleanup there. Grubby already critical HP in Hotel. The Rein Shield has to come out early. Apostle wants to play the Reinhardt again. King's Row belongs to Reinhardt. We see him all the time, but with the perfect Diva counter on the opposing side, it becomes a lot harder. Oh, nobody looked at the Brig. She stays alive the entire time, and she finds the stun. Diva gets murked, and that is going to be possibly a fight win for St. Clair here. I love the aggression from Grave. They know they can just continue walking in. There's not a lot of consistent damage on the side of Dallas College right now. Miramu falls. A huge stagger, but with only one person on the cart, or on the point, excuse me, it's not as staggering as maybe it should have been. Sora rocking the silly.
Yep, rocking one of your favorite characters. We saw a clip before this too, but I mean, look, they get kills, sure, but it's not even going to matter at this point. And now Dallas, the fight's already lost, and they've already capped the point. But St. Clair now coming up on a rally, probably going to use that to start off the fight, lead them in. And Apostle with that Earth Shatter going to be big as well. Now for Dallas College to counter it, a Kitsune Rush as well as a Valkyrie, they probably are going to use this simultaneously as well coming up in this next fight.
Oh! Apostle gets absolutely nothing with the Earth Shatter. That is a go button if I have ever seen one. Dallas College just completely claim dominance. That bomb should find maybe one, but instead a phenomenal shield from Brave keeps all three alive and a lot of natural cover as well. Keeps the team up and running. It zones out, but I don't think Dallas has taken enough space. Now Apostle gets right back into the forefront, deals a lot of damage out the gate. Rally online, I suspect to see in a moment. TP into the back line. Grave catches a railgun, but the rally keeps them up and running. Sora can't find anything with that Riptire, and Justice takes them down early in the rally, keeping all 5 members of St. Clair up and running. Dallas College throwing everything out with the kitchen sink, and they can't find a darn thing. Instead, Miramu gonna go down. Chill Bill missing, and St. Clair winning a fight with absolute dominance.
3 ultimates used there for Dallas and nothing. 3 ultimates used there and nothing for Dallas, and St. Clair had to pop 2 support ults. Even then, still nothing for Dallas on 2 DPS ults and a Valkyrie at the same time. That's just gotta hurt if you're Dallas right now. So now they're gonna play the Reaper character. I think this might be one of the first times we see the Reaper character on Dallas' side. I could be wrong.
Well, it's because of a character swap, actually. It's because of a player swap. No Sun has been swapped in on the DPS.
Yeah, so no Sun's a DPS. Binzi tank subbed out. Erica now on the DPS side, or on the tank side from DPS. So subs could work out here if this Kitchener Rush works out as well.
Ooh, I love the Photon Barrier from Juan. Sticking out of the Symmetra is an insanely risky choice, but one that clearly works out well. The Photon buys them enough time to get into the fight. Miramu Guardian Angels into St. Clair's roster, and there's no way you're making it out of that one. 5 minutes on the clock. Sora gets one for the books, but couldn't find 4 more. This is just St. Clair unparalleled dominance.
Yeah, St. Clair, I mean, Grubby and Holy Juan just going burr right now. I mean,
yeah,
they're just
seriously
melting everything down. And again, Erica on the Diva, it makes sense against the Bastion. Unfortunately, Holy Juan's beam can go through that defense matrix.
Yep.
So right now, I mean, this is I'm already calling it desperation mode here for Dallas to try to defend this.
Yeah, and I think you're totally right. This really does feel like a bit of desperation. No Sun gets that Bastion down early. That's a huge opener, but Chill Bill catches out a Shatter. Sora on the wrong side of that hammer as well, and Apostle back against the wall, but the team is there to help them out. The charge into DMAC. Apostle just having a field day in a moment where I really feel like he should have gone down. Unfortunately, Dallas College couldn't get the damage out compared to the healing from St. Clair, and this might be a 3-something on the clock with a full cap.
Yeah, and again, Dallas College switches off to a Lucio now. Yeah, another rally comes up so fast. Look at how far up they're playing. They're touching spawn doors.
I mean, this is just, it's such a masterclass from St. Clair right now. This is just a phenomenal showing. Even if the bomb does find something, I think the damage is done. Sora goes down. Juan found 3 out the gate. The other 2 down. 3.5 minutes on the clock right now for St. Clair. 24 seconds less than they started with.
I don't know what else to say here. St. Clair's, I mean, St. Clair is forcing out every single thing. And look, they said, sure, we'll play King's Row. Sure, we'll switch up the comps a little bit. They ran the Symmetra and the Bastion at the very beginning. They lost fight number 1, but they kept plugging at it, right? They kept chugging at it. And the very next fight, the Symmetra and the Bastion pop off, and they were able to just waltz right in. And look, they didn't lose a fight for the rest of the map. Maybe 1, but they didn't really lose much of anything the rest of the way. 3:36 is still an impressive time bank, folks. That is, again, like you said, 24 seconds under your standard time bank. So now for Dallas College to match, they got to play almost perfectly here if they want to get more time than what St. Clair has. And now they're starting to realize, and right at the end too, I mean, maybe that Lucio swap was to touch, but I mean, again, if Dallas holds what they have for another map, no defensive ults to play with, and that was St. Clair's possibility, right? You had the rally, you had the sound barrier to go in, 2 defensive ults that were mainly played offensively, and you can do that when they don't have a defensive ult on Dallas's side. So now Dallas is going to try to dive in a little bit more with the Winston, a little bit more with the Tracer, but yet again, nothing to help them out defensively. And if this Whittle finds a shot, it'll be a clip.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, St. Clair definitely feeling pretty confident. They're going to bring out the Widowmaker early. Going to miss the headshot, though, and Echo sneaks out of spawn, leaving the Mercy behind. Back on the Ana, I'm not huge on that. The Mercy, I still dislike as well. Dallas College doing a lot of things I don't agree with, and I'm afraid it's going to cost them the map here, Keegan. Jill Bill finds the or gets eliminated early on. Miramu not far behind, and Dallas already has to give fight number 1 to St. Clair. On the bright side, it was a fast fight, a huge pick onto Apostle, so maybe if they regroup fast enough, they can recontest and try to take first point.
Yeah, I mean, that spawn room's a little far back as well, and Apostle's not on a Winston either, so you can't come back any faster for right now. So Dallas College, you got to rush this. As soon as you get out of spawn, you got to go already, because now this Lucio's stuck all the way in the back line. Low health, has to back up. You got to go. Oh, my gosh.
No words. No words. That was just Nobody looks into Lucio. He flies through point, gets 3 picks, and Dallas College just fumbling for an answer right now. Something tells me that they are not going to find one anytime soon unless we see some serious character swaps and a serious increase in team communication and coordination, because that all goes back to shot calling. Nobody looked at that Lucio.
Yeah, what's frustrating is I don't think you needed to either. I mean, if you wanted to target focus him down, sure. But the Lucio was all the way in your spawn. If you had went fast enough, like, if you just went through him, he has to back up all the way to the rest of the team, and that's your window to go in. There was just nothing going for him anyway, so now Dallas on the back end, St. Clair Apostle has an Earth Shatter. Won't use it, though.
Yeah, won't get the chance to use it. Now Holy Juan down as well. Dallas College, here's Injustice living in their spawn. The Genji desperate to make it out of there. It looks like he should be able to. Grave has to fade into the back line towards that spawn once again, trying to get regrouped with the rest of the squadron. And Grubby goes down, an incredible stagger out late. Coalescence about to be online, though they could pop it for a recontest scenario. Shatter finds a couple, but I'm not sure it's enough, to be honest. Apostle taking a lot of damage. Coalescence keeping the team up and running, and Grave uncontested finds a 2-piece, looking to make it 3 with the help of Apostle. St. Clair back into the fray, and that is what separates the good teams from the great teams, the ability to recontest without all 5 members present.
You remember when you said Apostle, that Earth Shatter, I don't know if it's enough. It was enough, because remember, Grave escaped and had a Coalescence.
Yep.
There's your money winner right there. And so now Dallas College has 2 ults. Got to get a Nano Blade off, because they do not have a sound barrier. If they want to build a Nano Blade, it's got to be now to even have a chance to win this fight.
I mean, I currently have no words for St. Clair. They're doing everything right. It has been nothing short of a masterclass from this team. Just elimination after elimination, play after play, and the target focus unparalleled. St. Clair playing touch the spawn door right now as they get to just walk forward, hold that W key, and keep dominating Dallas College, who has coming up on 4 ultimates, 76 seconds left. This upcoming fight, most likely the last, where they really have a full odds chance of walking away with a win on it.
Well, it's 4 ults to 4 ults. Now it's just a matter of who's using ults better. 4v3 now, so Dallas College has advantage here. Nano boost, but here comes an EMP probably here within the next 5 seconds.
I think you are wholeheartedly correct on that one. The EMP should be just around the corner, and it finds all 5 members of Dallas. Primal Rage nowhere in sight. Nano Blade not going to be found either, as Chill cannot get the Nano out in time. 45 seconds. At least it was a quick fight win. Now you just block out the Shatter, and you should be able to take this. But, Keegan, that might be the biggest should I've ever said on broadcast.
Yeah, should with capital letters, with bold letters, whatever you want to put it as. Right now, Dallas College, no sound barrier, no defensive ults either. Nano boost needs to happen now, and it needs to be quick.
Nano comes out onto the Winston. The Genji doesn't pull Blade. 26 seconds left. They look for a back cap. They can't find it, and Winston Overwatch barely gets much done with that. Pulls out the Primal. That'll be great to recontest for the rest of the team to arrive. Benezzi's out there by himself, hacked into the corner as well. Erica not going to be able to find it. Poor Winston Overwatch. Wow, 30 HP. Somehow makes it out, but I think we're going to have to call this one.
Yeah, it's not looking good here. That play's not even going to matter. He doesn't even touch.
Doesn't touch. The Coalescence finds him. Here comes a Shatter. Just insult to injury on that one. And St. Clair with probably the most dominant series I have seen, possibly in Collegiate Overwatch 2. That was just, I mean, St. Clair having a field day through and through.
Yeah, and I mean, overtime clock is going to run out, and it's going to be St. Clair that advances on into the semifinals. And look, I mean, well done by St. Clair. You kept saying the word masterclass the entire way through. There's another word for it. I mean, in a sweep like this, perfection.
Flawless.
The way they played was absolutely perfect. The only time I can see ever one highlight here for St. Clair was, or rather for Dallas College, was back on Esperanza, one fight win just to get 24 meters. Other than that, it was all St. Clair the entire way through. And look, we saw that one fight right there in that play of the game where we saw Grave just come all the way around, right? And you saw Apostle Earth Shatter. That was perfect, right? You had a Coalescence and you had an Earth Shatter. We were saying, is it enough? It was enough. It was way enough. And that's the kind of team play that carries St. Clair over to over Dallas College and into the semifinals. This is what you're seeing in this NJCAAE side, right? St. Clair 8-2, 14th place in the Overwatch Collegiate side. They are not a threat. They are the threat right now. They are the only, or one of the top threats right now inside of this conference. Because right now, I mean, they're going to blow everybody out of the water if they continue to play like that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm unbelievably impressed. One of the most consistent teams that I've seen in competitive Overwatch since we've entered Overwatch 2. devastating through and through, but a very, very, very well-deserved victory for St. Clair there, folks. We're going to go ahead and throw it to a break. Coming up next, we've got Blinn College, another powerhouse against the winner of Bryan and Stratton versus Union College. We'll be back with a little bit more information and that upcoming series in just a couple of minutes. Don't go far.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big.
That's so cute.
UCF, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. Go Knights, charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Come on.
Oh,
let's go! Let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird.
Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows.
We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear it.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me, the first clip is me saying, don't put that in. And then it was the first, cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day one of the tournament, but instead we're going to have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. A Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry.
For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited.
What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes. Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down. What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because I like to like zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know. Like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know. It might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun. You know?
No, bro. I feel it. Absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great for them against Northwood here today.
This guy's playing Minecraft right now. He keeps double building instead of placing the dirt. Pressure's on, man. Everybody's watching. Just kidding. Just me. Cameraman's not over here. Just kidding. He's behind you. There's actually always cameras on you if I'm around. Do you double build all of those? No excuses, bro. Your college esports Minecraft team absolutely rolled. L after L here. Let's hope UCF has a little better luck on stage, huh? What is going on, everybody? I am Septilence. I have the honor of welcoming you to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, that was good. That was good. Good content, good content.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year's, everyone, and welcome back to the ECAAE Esports channel. As always, my name is Kyler K-Ted-Tando, and I once again have the privilege of introducing you all to some of the best collegiate esports plays. Now, I know when we left off last year, I teased a little bit about some big news on the horizon, but that news is finally ready to break. Now, this year, in partnership with CSMG and their newly launched Esports U network, we will now be able to bring you guys double the amount of ECAAE matches. So, with double the matches comes double the highlights. And with that said, I mean, obviously, right, do the math here. It means that we get to take this series of videos to a weekly top 8 instead of just the top 4 like we did in the past. But anyways, that's enough out of me. I'm sure you guys are ready for some hype plays and crazy moments. So without further ado, here you go. In our season opening clip, we have Ghost and Nox with a devastating 1-2 combo that just breaks SLU at the knees. Or is it boosters?
Can't fall through. Nice bounce, but a nice goal! Right past the defender. Ox makes it look easy.
I'm so surprised because I couldn't.
At number 7, Rawfam pounds his chest and decrees that he is the strongest in the jungle with this sick 3K to flip the point.
The arms and keeps everyone alive through that. Amplification Matrix came through, but we didn't get the same benefit that we saw last time with the Amplified Fire Strike. Instead is Angry Monkey time from a fan with a 3K. Call that the Primal Blade.
As our first Smash play of the year, it's the clean 9 stock from Hydra to lock down New Jersey City's 2-0 win against Husson.
As they go for that kill confirm again, it's not going to connect this time, but there it is, just waiting on the platform for the spike. NJCAAE cleaning up in their signature style, Hydra leading the charge all the way home.
Next up, it's every shorty player's dream, and what's going to be a nightmare for University at Albany.
Up close and personal. This is the one player who's got a chance with his read. How about timing here? So step forward now into the angle. Certainly good for one. Yikes. There's the one. No one's reswung. He's reloaded. This never happens to a shorty player. Nebula's up now as well.
In our next clip, who needs teammates when you've got a wall? Grim surely doesn't.
Snaps and passes. They tried their best, and that is an open goal. But unfortunately, out the top, it's going to be the header in. Tit for tat. Grim takes it in on their own.
Ooh, spicy little double tap right there. You saw him looking for it, but that's not an easy read.
Rounding out our top 3, it wouldn't be a highlight video without our first ace of the season. D. DeRocco, this one's for you. Enjoy.
Take out GSV.
Yeah, a great shot there. Oh, deep push coming from the back for an ace. Rocco looking for one of their own. There's going to be a 4K already coming through. Now a 2v1. The hard rotate through. And the kill!
Ace!
Rocco picking up the ace early and securing a true single player dominance.
In our runner-up spot, AZ Tropical has a bunch of things to do in this clip. The SD into... Well, he's got a lot. Just take a look.
But all right, 2 stocks to 6 for the Fanshawe team. Starting off strong, 45%, 54 uncontested. Let's see what Andy has to offer, because right now he's getting duffed by the Street Fighter.
Ooh, very good option coverage with those up tilts, but you're going to get jabbed once, and there's the uppercut right there, sent straight off the top. AZ Tropical now battling it out on Yoshi's story. It's looking kind of tough.
And as I was saying, if a character is going to start steamrolling, it's definitely a character with so much crazy zero death potential as we've seen in Kin, because wow, only 19% so far. And this isn't just any character, this is against Fire Mithra. Oh my god! Getting dared right in the face. AZ Tropical only 2 stocks away from tying this entire.
And in our number 1 spot in the you hate to see it category, what's higher than a high noon? Well, Becomix has the answer.
Trade out Leo Leon here. However, Key Universe making important and inexorable progress. Leo Rafam taking a lot of damage, and it's Becomix finding 3 on the way down! Down goes Duck, and this is looking like an absolute rout for Keen University. Muskingum University just found lacking in points.
Man, after seeing all of that, doesn't that just make you want to say, wow? I mean, for me, I'm definitely speechless and so excited to continue bringing you guys these plays and all of this collegiate esports content. Now, if you want to check out more of the buzz on social media, definitely give us a follow on Twitter at ECAC_esports. Or, if you just want to check out the action live, be sure to tune in on our Twitch channel at ECAC_esports. With that said, I do want to give out a shout out to our partners at Esports U for not only helping to us expand our content, but really also to help bring up all of you guys more of this great collegiate esports action. Now, thank you all so much for watching, and feel free to let me know, what types of matchups or moments you'd like to see next. As always, I've been KTAD, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one.
My name is Dusty. I'm 24 years old, and this is my first year at Bay State College and first year towards my bachelor's there. But I've been going to college for a few years now, or several years now.
Cool. What are you studying?
Right now, I am studying human resource management in
Nice.
business. Yeah.
Do you like Bay State so far?
Yes. Yeah. It's been pretty good so far. It's only been 1 quarter, but I like it so far. So.
Where are you from?
I'm from SoCal. I'm doing it remotely from Southern California.
So, what games do you play? What's your main game?
My main game is Smash Brothers, and that's what I compete in. So Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Okay. What character do you like?
Wii Fit Trainer is my main character.
So, how has it been being part of a collegiate team at Bay State? Have you been on a collegiate team before?
I've been on teams before. I don't know if I've been on a collegiate team before. I think this is my first collegiate team, but it is really nice, and the teammates are really supportive, and I've met some cool people, so that's nice. But I definitely do have experience like with teams, so it's nothing like super new, but it's always good to be in a team, have that support.
A fresh team. Yeah, that's cool. So, how long have you been playing Smash?
I've been playing Smash for about like 7-ish years now. Well, I've kind of played it since I was like really young, but like competitively, I've played it like 7 years. I played since the release of Smash 4, which was the previous Smash game, and now I've played into Ultimate, so quite a while.
What has been your proudest moment since playing Smash?
That's hard to say because I've honestly had a lot of good moments. It's just I feel like every other week or every other month I have a new moment where I'm like, wow, that's the best I've ever played, which feels good and makes it, I keep going for stuff like that. But every time I play a tournament set and it feels really good and I feel like I'm playing the best I've ever played. Probably each of those consecutive moments. I just had a tournament a couple weekends ago in Las Vegas where I placed 9th out of nearly 400, I think, and I think that was one of the best I've ever played. And that felt really good, so that was a really big accomplishment for me.
So you would definitely say over the past years, you said that you've grown a lot in the game?
Yeah, I think I've grown a lot in the game, and I think I've also grown a lot just as a person too. Just like competition in general, there's a lot of learning, and there's a lot of a lot of ways to approach it. I've learned how to teach other people as well, because I do coaching as well, stuff like that. Um, so I've learned a lot through Smash. Yeah.
How long have you been doing the coaching part?
Coaching, I've been doing maybe a year and a half-ish, maybe almost 2 years. I'm actually not sure on the number. I think a year-ish, year and a half is probably closer to the right one. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun too. It's really interesting because it gives you a different perspective on the game, and not only are you helping other people, but you kind of help yourself in a way too, because you can kind of see things from a different perspective, so.
How would you describe yourself? Do you like competing more or playing for fun or?
I'm definitely more of a competitor. Ever since I was young, like I remember playing like board games um with like friends or something. I think I was waiting for them to play, and I think some of them were playing like just like house rules or whatever, and I was like really, really young, and it like made me upset. I'm like, you guys aren't playing it the right way or whatever. But like I've always been a competitor, but at the same time, like you have to have fun, because if you're only a competitor and you're only competing and it's all seriousness, like it's there's like a limit to that. So like you have to have fun. So definitely both, but I definitely lean towards the competitive sides of things. So I like optimizing things and seeing the best thing you can do, because it all started out with like uh it all started out with it just being fun, because when I was younger, I played different games, and I originally just played them for fun, and I played them all the time, but I played them so often, and I got so good at them to the point where uh, it just started to naturally lean into the competitive side of things, and I was so good to the point where I was like, oh, okay, what can I do to make myself like better, and how can I see this as like something I can improve at? So it kind of made like a transition a little bit, but so it's both.
If you were to give someone advice who may be looking into joining an esports team, but they're kind of on the fence, what would you tell them?
My advice would be to really like think over what they're looking for, like in not only in the collegiate esports team, but in school as well, and like see like exactly, does this line up with what they really want, and just to figure out what they really want, and if it's going to be a good decision, from like a scholarly standpoint and from like a financial standpoint, because there's a lot of things to consider. Like I thought it over a lot before I realized, okay, yes, this is a really good decision, I should go for this. So that's something that should be considered, and also like the time frame as well, because if you commit yourself to a collegiate team, it could potentially be a long time. um, so just consider it and think through like all your options, and don't ever make it like don't ever make a decision just off like an emotional reaction or anything like that. Just like, think it through, I guess.
So for you personally, how many hours do you think you game a week?
That's a good question. It's actually way less than it used to be, but before I would be putting in probably several hours a day into Smash. About a year ago, I was like really, really grinding it and put a lot of effort into it. But lately, like my priorities have shifted just a little bit. Just because there's other things I need to focus on. Like I started working again recently and stuff like that. So it's taken a little bit of a backseat, but it's always something I focus on. So like, even though I'm not necessarily playing all the time right now, I still try to get at least 30 to 60 minutes in a day. But I've been really busy lately, so it hasn't been looking like that lately. But if I'm not doing that, then there's still other stuff that kind of goes into it. Like I do a lot of research on mentality stuff and like stuff like meditation and stuff. So if I'm not gaming or whatever, there's still other things that I feel like is going towards my improvement at the game.
Could you expand a little bit?
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to NJCAAE. We're jumping into the quarterfinals now, and I hope you missed us just as much as we missed all of you. Our first series here tonight, unfortunately, incredibly very much dominant, but this one, we're hoping there's going to be a little bit more back and forth and a little bit more general competition.
Yeah, a semifinal action, number 2 versus number 3. We saw number 1 versus number 8 earlier, but now it's Blinn taking on Brian and Stratton. So the Buccaneers against the Bobcats. I guess you could say the alliteration, if you will, the going on. Blinn, Buccaneers, Brian, and Stratton, Bobcats. So, but anyways, jokes aside here, both teams 6-0 coming into this matchup in Group 2 and Group 5 respectively. So looks on paper close match. Both teams 12-0 combined, but
So
again,
the last one.
on paper, right? You can always say on paper it looks close, but when it comes to what happens in game, we'll find out. Now, in the last one we had from against the Dallas College and St. Clair one, right? We had one team not show up with the defensive vault. We had one team do it and one team dive a little bit more. But it's interesting. Again, it's only been 3 days since the meta began, right? It's only 3 days since people can find out what the meta is going to be. I suspect, though, with these two teams that we're still gonna see maybe a little bit more flexibility or depth, but the way these teams are playing right now, I think you're going to be able to see maybe more Kiriko Lucio sort of a thing, or if they find their own path, it'll be defensive ults on both sides. But again, on paper, it looks good. We just need to find out if that paper holds true, or if it lands up something on the opposite side of the spectrum, which you and I both know we don't want. We want good games here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, I don't know Brian and Stratton as well. So I initially kind of giving a recency bias to Blinn College. I know they are a very strong team. They're an incredible team. And if they come out with their absolute A game, there's a very good chance they could win this. But, you know, I don't know about Brian and Stratton. It's not like I think they're just going to roll over and lose. They could absolutely come out and really surprise me here with their performance. There's a lot of variables, a lot of things that can change right now. But the one thing that never changes in the world of collegiate Overwatch is that starting map, that control map, Lijiang Tower. We're going to run it back. A personal favorite of mine. I can watch it thousands of times and never get sick of it. But going into it, it's going to be all about who can take an early presence, who can take an early dominance, and who can put their best foot forward starting things off.
Now, I will want to ask you, as a play-by-play person, nighttime or daytime Lijiang Tower? That's the big thing. You said it's one of your favorite, but what part of the day is your favorite part?
I think daytime is cute, right? I like the concept of daytime, but I think I'm just so used to nighttime. Like, we call it night market. Like, we call it, you know, like we talk so much about the fact that it is nighttime there on Lijiang Tower, that I do think I'm biased towards the nighttime options, excuse me. And it looks like Blinn is going to be pretty biased towards the meta. Brian and Stratton, 2 of them still hadn't even picked, so
yeah,
a bit
that's
of
huge.
Like a 3 to 5 second differential there. They're not even going to go through white. They're going to go right to point, rotate up quickly, and Blinn has the speed advantage, but they've got to make sure they don't lose somebody first.
Yeah, and look, meta again, right now you're going to see the strength of this. Which dive is going to be better? The DPSs are the only things that change.
Right. The DPS and Krim going to fall early on. Brian and Stratton lose that DPS out the gate. You see that Winston just caught out in the back line here, and all of a sudden they're going to fall low themselves. 176 on the board, trying to farm as much damage as possible, halfway to that Primal Rage already. And Blinn, they capped the first point. Now it's all about stalling for as long as possible.
Yeah, and look, they backed off. They cut off pretty well here. I mean, the fight's going to continue on, but Brian is trying to have the newer meta. Blinn has the older meta here. And right now, again, when you can regroup and you're able to rush out all together, look, the fight's starting to go in your favor, at least for the Bobcats for right now. So while Blinn does get a few percentage, Brian gets it, and that's only because, right, they're playing a newer type of meta here. And yeah, you get rid of the back line. That's the biggest key here in this meta, right? Get rid of the back line, get rid of your supports, and you're probably going to win the fight. So target focus in both of these metas becomes so important. Oh,
wait. The recontest there, a little weird from the Winston. The pulse bomb is going to be missed out by manually, so Brian and Stratton, they commit early on. A lot of ult charge was given to Brian and Stratton by that Winston recontest, but it did buy them the additional percentage they need, got them up to nearly 30, and it makes them feel a little more comfortable controlling the pace of this upcoming fight. Now, Broda brings out the Kitsune Rush early on, gives Brian and Stratton the go button to get forward, get aggressive, and find those eliminations. Die rate falls early, and it looks like that's going to be enough to scare Blinn College back. They're going to have plenty of ults going into this upcoming fight, but Brian and Stratton doing a really good job just grabbing the bull by the horns right now.
Yeah, you know, there's a sort of a thing where if you go, like, if your ultimate for support comes later, you're probably going to win a fight. With the Kitsune Rush, that changes it entirely, right? The first one to pop it probably is going to win it unless they go simultaneously here.
Now the Kitsune is going to be answered out by Simical's beat, and it looks like that is going to be enough for Brian and Stratton to dominate that fight manually, in particular, like you said, running this new meta and doing it very well. The Tracer buffs working out super for Brian and Stratton to try and win out Lijiang. They're already halfway done with stage number 1, but there's more than enough time for Blinn College to respond with the 4 ultimates they have in the bank. Let's keep an eye on Pink Piggy to see what kind of money he can bring to the combat.
You're going to say there's a lot of check marks here for them.
Honestly, value. I mean, it's an ult for an ult there. The Echo is not going to be able to do much with her Winston swap there. A lot of damage finally being dealt to Brian and Stratton. It took 4, excuse me. Everything they had in the bank, and I don't know. I mean, that's going to really be difficult to win these next fights. They're one fight away from losing.
Well, but yeah, I mean, they're one fight away from losing, but if they can hold on, they're going to be able to build up that ultimates, right? The risk you take by using all these simultaneous ults is you're not going to have it if you lose a fight here, and it's probably going to be one more fight that you don't have. If Blinn is able to win one more, they're going to be in a very good position, especially if Brian is going to try to stagger their ultimates like they are right now with the pulse bombs at start.
And I think you're totally right here. If Blinn can win this out, they can feel super comfortable going into the next fight because they've really kind of reset their economy a little bit. But if the Kitsune comes out from Brian and Stratton, it becomes that much harder for Blinn to do much of anything. Winston on the side of BNS falls very low, but it's actually going to be the opposing Winston that goes down first. Crim finds the Echo combo, and with that Winston gone, there's nobody to hide behind. On the side of Blinn College, the point has been flipped. Pink Piggy finds one, but in a trade for 2 of their own teammates. 20 seconds left on the clock. Blinn, no ultimates in sight. Brian and Stratton running it right back down to that spawn door.
Well, but now you're going to trade off your sound barrier for your Kitsune rush here, and Vader getting proto. That's a big pick for you, so now you can get a gold button here, and so Blinn's got the advantage if they want to just go right in, especially with no Kiriko to play here.
I love Crim's strategy there. It's so simple, but it's so incredibly well done. He plays it low so nobody can chase after him. Gets right back out of the combat, and it's going to be Jimmical with that first elimination. Pink Piggy falls as well, and that has to be the end of stage number 1 control center. Brian and Stratton, a phenomenal job running the new meta, showing Blinn College that there needs to be change, there needs to be improvement, and this is what you need to do to win a map out just like this. Phenomenal job from Brian and Stratton. Blinn College, unfortunately, just cannot adapt fast enough.
Yeah, and again, we talk about newer meta versus older meta, and right now the newer meta just putting on a show, especially towards the end there in a 159 scenario where, I mean, the way you look at it, right, is that which one got nerfed more? Is it the old meta or the newer meta? And right now it's showing that older meta, right, the Sojourn got nerfed, and it wasn't a full nerf, but it's right, that longer sightline, there is fall-off damage that's worse now, right? So, I mean, even if you're in a smaller area, it's still not working out, and Brian played that perfectly to go right in. And Blinn, like you said, they threw out the whole thing. They threw out, how many kitchen sinks do you think Blinn threw out there with 4 ultimates being used at the same time? Sure, they won the fight, but how many? I mean, they got rid of basically the entire house's inventory of kitchen sinks. So now Blinn has to come in, and now look, they're going to play the Tracer and keep on the Reaper. This is the meta right now, maybe on the exception of the Winston, because I've been seeing a lot of Doomfist here, but now they're basically playing toe-to-toe here with Brian. This should be an easier fight here for Blinn if they can win it out.
Oh! And I don't know about winning it out anymore because College Lone goes down early on, manually flanks into the back line, gets the melee kill, removes the Kiriko Suzu offline as well, so a lot of the damage more permanent against Blinn College. The point hasn't opened up yet, so a quick loss isn't the end of the world. Cyber accidentally falls onto Vader there and finds the E-limit. As the wise man once said, we absolutely take those. Unfortunately, Blinn College cannot take Cyber's life there. They're going to return to the fight early on. The leap gets taken out, the boop, not finding the elimination, and Brian and Stratton with the first point cap. Pink Piggy, critical condition, sent back to spawn room in a body bag, and now Blinn College finding themselves just struggling once again.
Yeah, and this is the matter of who's more comfortable with the meta, right? You can change the meta if you can change the meta if you want. Who's more comfortable with it right now? And Brian and Stratton on that Echo is going to make things a lot harder, especially when you cannot get up to where the Echo is. Right, the Echo is in the air all the time, so if that Echo just stays up in the air and plays their game, this Echo is going to be so much of a threat. Look, already 60% to an ultimate. Manuel's already got the pulse bomb ready to go.
And I think you've hit the nail right on the head here, Clutch. It is exactly nobody can deal with that Echo right now. Winston, Tracer, Reaper, Lucio, and Kiriko. Kiriko's your best chance, and that's a projectile character still. That is not what you want to be running right now. This Echo completely unanswered. It's allowing Brian and Stratton to continue holding W, getting hyper-aggressive, and the Kitsune actually cost Cyber their life. This is Blinn College's go button. They need to get right on the point. They need to get hyper-aggressive, and they need to try to flip things because Brian and Stratton is already halfway done. Jimmical falls late into the fight. That should be Blinn's opportunity to cap. Manually, 25 HP, tries to find the Reaper, can't pick it up. Diorite, a double boop kill to try and make it happen. The Mega keeps Crim up and running there on the bridge. And Manually just has to wait it out. The team choosing not to chase, but Blinn College is finally capped. They've won the battle. Can they go on to win the war, or are they all going to press Q at the same time all over again?
Yeah, Diorite, your MVP there, but don't throw out the kitchen sink. Here's another fight already.
Another fight happens early. Pink Piggy doesn't get the pulse bomb as that Echo laser just undeniably incredibly strong. If you're less than half HP, it's essentially a death sentence against you. The Winston swap again counteracted early on. Winston from the side of Blinn going to be primaling as well. And oh, Clutch, it's happening all over again. 4 ultimates to win a fight. Now, on the bright side, Brian and Stratton, they overplayed their hand a lot as well. So it's about the next fight and how important that's going to be in terms of general success for your team.
Yeah, but Blinn threw out 4 there, right? So, I mean, in essence, Blinn threw out the kitchen sink. Meanwhile, Brian threw out the bathroom sink. I mean, it was 4-3 in essence. But now you're coming up on a pulse bomb, and you're coming up with a kitchen rush in a little while for Brian and Stratton. Blinn's coming up on a pulse bomb. If Pink Piggy can land this pulse bomb and get a kill here. And look, they switched on over to the Hog. I mean, this could be big for Brian and Stratton here because if they can find one pick on that hook, it's over.
A pick onto literally anybody goes crazy right now, and the Winston isn't even going to be the first to fall. The Pulse Bomb can't take him down early enough. Jimmicle takes out Vader with a great wall ride potential. A stick onto the Roadhog. If he pops the breather, it will keep him up and running, and it certainly does. Off the back of that. Now, luckily enough, Blinn turned it around early, so Brian and Stratton, they're not just one fight away from winning. They don't win this fight and it's over. Blinn's going to have essentially one more real recontest, and then after that, it's going to be chaos incarnate.
I think this might be their first lead of the whole thing as well. They didn't get a lead back on Control Center. Now it's the Gardens that they have the lead on, but look, it's touched the spawn room, and now for Blinn, it's changing it up, right? You want to try to counter this Roadhog, so they're thinking the Orisa is going to be the pick. And now a Widowmaker here is a little bit more of an interesting pick to me, especially with Vader switching on over from what the Reaper was. That Reaper counters the Roadhog a little bit as long as you don't get hooked, so I'm kind of surprised at this pick here. Oh no, but they switch back. So anyways, one more fight basically. Here comes the Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush comes out now from Proda, giving Brian and Stratton an even larger green light. Just keep holding W, keep getting hyper-aggressive, and keep winning those 1v1s. Manually dismisses Pink Piggy from this mortal coil, and the rest of the team should fall like dominoes soon after. Only 12 seconds left for Blinn College to do much of anything, and they had to use their Kitsune just to get across the bridge. Whole Hog online. I think Cyber is going to get the chance to pop it, and this could be disgusting against that Orisa. Tanks get traded out. Krim is gone. Proda off the map, and Blinn College going to sneak this one out by the skin of their absolute teeth. They're going to recontest the point. They should be able to get a point capture, and now they cannot afford to lose a single fight with only a beat to their name.
By the way, credit to our observer there, Scoots, for keeping their eyes on College Lone that entire time. You saw how College Lone stayed alive that entire time. That was big for Blinn to keep this fight alive, because if that Suzu doesn't land on themselves, or they aren't staying alive, there's no chance of winning that. So credit to them. Now Blinn has a sound barrier to keep them alive, but Brian Stratton's got everything coming out.
Everything coming out early on here. The beat forced. This could be terrifying if Krim gets value, but if they get rid of the Reaper like they did the Winston so many times before, it's going to be exactly what Blinn needs. The beat comes to completion, and now the Death Blossom. Oh, it finds enough. Finds 2. Both supports have fallen from Blinn. They come so close, but close. Just not going to cut it. The counter one finds Proda. Gets deleted from existence, and Brian and Stratton notably closer than stage number 1, but a win is a win regardless, Clutch, and they are going to walk away 2-0 on Lijiang Tower.
What a fight there at the end. I mean, sure, it was a 2-0, but you look at the numbers, and it was way closer than what a 2-0 should be. I mean, 59% for Blinn on Control Center, and then 99 on Gardens for Blinn as well. I mean, the Buccaneers, they are showing that, again, this may have been a 2-0, but they are not going down without a fight. I mean, we talk about throwing out kitchen sinks and bathroom sinks and whatnot. They're going to throw the house at you if they want to win this entire thing. They are throwing the entire street if they have to try to win out this whole thing. But that's the thing you want to see, right? Especially in the playoffs. Give it your all at this point. And so if you're throwing out 4 ults to win a fight, especially in desperation mode, hey, that's what you got to do to try to win that out. It's high risk, high reward at that point. But well played. I think what set the tone there was Brian and Stratton really playing the new meta well, right? And especially we talk about how that Echo kind of went almost uncontested, if you will, for what they had. When the Echo was low to the ground, that's when Blinn took advantage of it. But as long as that Echo stayed up in the air, that Echo got so much value. And you saw it right at the end there, right? When they duplicated into the Reaper and got the picks at the end to end it all with a Death Blossom. When that Reaper pop, or when that Echo pops off and no contest on it, that Echo is going to be absolutely fabulous for your team. So now the next map coming up is going to be pushing. Look, we saw Esperanza in that last map choice here between Dallas and St. Clair, but now in this time it seems a lot closer, which means it's any map we could see here. I mean, Esperanza could be the map pick, but I mean, any one of them, especially with this new meta. This new meta can go any which way you like it to.
Yep. Yeah, and it's New Queen Street coming up next, which I think is a really fascinating choice because Brian and Stratton won that map. They played the Echo. I think of the 3, this could be the best Echo map of our 3 push maps. So this is going to be something that maybe Blinn can answer back earlier with. The Buccaneers can bring out a Sojourn. They can bring out an Ashe. They can bring out a Cassidy if they want to. There's a lot of characters that can be played here, but if that Echo continues to go uncontested, I think that'll be kind of the thread that leads to defeat. And we saw that on Lijiang Tower, 99-99. Nobody looks at the Echo. You get team wiped, and you got to kiss that map goodbye. So hopefully there's a little bit more of an early answer if the Echo comes out once again. It looks like Vader already getting ready to try and do just that.
Right, and for Blinn, I mean, the only thing you have to be aware of here, there's only one key that you really need for Blinn to try to take a map. That's ult counting, right? So you got to make sure you don't want to use all 4 ults at the same time. If you can win with 2, that's perfect.
Yep.
Or 1 or 2, that's perfect for you. 3, maybe. 4, not really good for you, especially if you're in a desperation mode. So for Blinn now, again, you talked about a Sojourn coming out. Here's your Sojourn that could contest the Echo here, but don't fix what's not broken. Crim's going to stay on this Echo. If they do not contest this Echo, Brian's going to win this one out.
Absolutely. Brian should be able to win this one pretty aggressively if the Echo gets to have a field day, but Vader on the Sojourn should make it a little harder. Unfortunately, not hard enough. Everybody can kiss their Winston goodbye on the side of Blinn College, and losing your tank is so unbelievably detrimental for your team's notable success there, because that tank is the one to absorb so much damage, to make so much space for your team. When there's no space to be made, there's just space to be given up, and I think Blinn College, unfortunately, going to be learning that the hard way here.
Yeah, and you saw the robot didn't move for the first, 8 seconds that it was unlocked. It stayed there, and they were diving all the way in, but that's what you got to do with this meta, right? All in, all out. So that's the way they're playing it, and Brian is playing this to perfection right now. Look, Manuel is already almost to an ult.
I really like the way you said that, all in or all out and nowhere in between. Crim falls down to a sliver of HP, but they keep breathing, and that's the most important part at the end of the day, is that they keep it up and running here, but they will finally go down, giving Blinn the opportunity they need to strike 13 meters, exactly what we saw in our last series as well, where a team got 12 meters, and then they did lose the point, in which case they ended up losing the map as well. Could this be Blinn College's time to shine here on Push? Look, I mean, it's right in front of you. You killed the Echo, and you won the fight, super easily. Keep doing that. Keep that momentum moving, because clearly it's working.
Wait, and Manuel actually at the end there pulled out the tactical visor at the end, which got nothing, so that forces the switch off to the Reaper. So now this is Blinn's Vader Soldier going against Crim. Everything else is a mirror fight here, and this Kitsune Rush versus Kitsune Rush is going to really tell us which one is better here.
Yeah, the Kitsune Clash is going to come out quickly. Proto finds Vader early on. Dyrite has to drop the beat, trying to keep them alive, but they cannot get the line of sight on the Sojourn in time. Manuel's Reaper makes it so hard for this tank to do anything on the side of Blinn College. Cyber puts down Dyrite in 27 meters. They double what Brian and Stratton have done, but even double is not going to be enough.
Yeah, nowhere near, especially this close of a scenario right now. But there's plenty of time on the clock. The 8 minutes left still to play, so this closeness doesn't even really matter. It's going to be the next fight that really determines it, because this next fight here, oh, that's big. This next fight is going to determine fourth spawn, and right now, it's looking like Blinn can take this back.
They absolutely have the potential to try and take this back right now, but if Vader goes down, that's going to spell disaster. What is up with our battle Lucios today? I mean, it is just supportal combat through and through tonight. Proto will be traded out early, so perhaps this is a trading advantage of Blinn College, but if Jimico can continue to wreak havoc in the back line like this, it is just going to be a massacre through and through all over again. King Piggy trying to put some pressure down, gets Cyber, finds Manually and Blinn in a fight that I really think they should have lost. They actually walk away with the win.
No, the biggest thing was Jimico used the sound barrier, but only to himself. Did not catch anybody inside of it because he was all the way out in spawn. So now this is huge advantage for Blinn, and they're doing exactly what they needed to do. Stack the ultimates, right? Don't use any ultimate that you don't have to force out, and right now Blinn is playing that to perfection. This overclock could be very, very huge.
The overclock could be gigantic, but instead it's not going to exist at all. Crim swaps onto the Reaper halfway to that Death Blossom, and if they find it, it could be disastrous. I love the target focus to find the Winston because he's simply the easiest one to hit, and he's the easiest one to farm your ult off of. Crim finds it, has to commit it late into the fight, and won't be able to find much with it, but a lot of damage done. Can the team follow up when they need to? The bombs catch the corner, manually drops the Blossom, and it looks like it's going to find just enough to equalize this matchup all over again. The DPS 1-for-1 trade in the next elimination will dictate which team walks away with the advantage. Proto falls. Cyber are going to be finding an elimination of their own onto Vader, but the Kitsune is online. Primal from Cyber, desperate to make sure this team tries to take the lead, and they might not be able to. Jimico finds Dyrite, and Brian and Stratton, it's their turn to use everything they've got.
I mean, that was an ult fight here left and right, but now Brian, I mean, you have to risk it all, but now you've only got a Kitsune Rush to play with, and that robot still has to make a full turn all the way back to where they are. So right now, I mean, they're going to get the lead here, but now Blinn's going to be sitting on 2 ultimates here, especially with a sound barrier that may cancel out a Kitsune Rush from Brian and Stratton. So Blinn, I mean, go signal right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to get in there, and it looks like Crim is going to fall early. Blinn, they lose the lead by 9 meters, but that 9 can be enough. I mean, you can lose by 0.01. Every single meter, unbelievably important. Can Blinn clutch things back? We're about halfway done with New Queen Street here. Blinn currently in charge here. They're coming up on 4 ultimates in the pocket versus Brian and Stratton's whopping 0 clutch.
And look, I mean, early on in that fight, they got rid of the support, but no, Vader goes down. That's another big stagger, and the story of this game has been staggers left and right. This is not, I don't think we're even going to see first spawn point on either side the way this is playing right now.
Yeah, we really might not. I mean, it is so unbelievably back and forth, neck and neck, overextension into overextension, and it keeps costing these teams. They're taking turns overextending, so it's a constant back and forth, and as these ultimates are all in the pocket of Blinn College, I'm looking for that Primal Rage to try and zone the supports out early, maybe even the Death Blossom to just get somebody early, at least for Suzu, for the rest of the team to collapse. Like it's going to be beat into Primal Rage. I'm not stoked to see the beat that early on. It looks like Brian and Stratton not able to capitalize in the moment. Cyber has fallen. That's got to be enough for Brian and Stratton to tuck tail, try to get out of dodge as quickly as possible. And get out of dodge, they shall certainly try.
No, and that's, I mean, that sound barrier, though, wasn't the worst thing in the world because, you know, Jimico's nowhere near his team. So that sound barrier isn't going to be popped anyways if you're there. So now this... Wow, that Death Blossom goes for nothing. And that's such a huge ult to lose here. And Blinn's all systems go if you want to play.
I'm actually confused why that happened at all. That was a very confusing Death Blossom. That very well may have been a fat finger. Perhaps it was just a bit of an overextension. Now this Death Blossom is also going to find nothing, so now it matters even less for Manually. However, the team is going to go down on the side of Brian and Stratton, and it looks like Blinn College will be able to take the lead. 4 minutes left on the clock, and these 4 minutes are looking mighty good for this team to continue their currently unparalleled dominance.
Are we finally going to see our first checkpoint? Are we finally going to see it after all is said and done? We are. We finally see our first checkpoint. I mean, that, by the way, 6.5 minutes in, somebody finally gets a checkpoint. I mean, that's insane, right? That's how back and forth this game is, but now Blinn finally winning 2 fights in a row to get that first checkpoint, forward spawn, and now Brian and Stratton really going to have 3 ults to work with, so they can throw maybe 2 in to try and see if they can win this.
It's all about trying to win it out in this pivotal moment here. Cyber brings out a Primal Rage. Grim has to swap into a Winston of their own, and this should be Blinn College falling pretty quickly here. Manually's Widowmaker, a surprise pick, but clearly a valuable one, as it's already taken Diorite out of the fight. Vader falls, and Brian and Stratton taking back a lead. 3 minutes left on the clock. They use a lot of ults to pull it, but as long as you get it done, that's what matters most. Grim finds Pink Piggy, and Brian and Stratton 3 minutes to try and make it, what is that, maybe like 12 meters?
Yeah, well, about 14 meters. 14 meters. I'm sorry, no, 16 meters to make up because it's 48.
I was less close.
Sorry, bad math. But anyways, but Brian and Stratton needed to use 3 ultimates there. Now Blinn's going to have themselves a Samurai coming up, even though it's still climbing. They're going to have 2 ultimates to use of their own. So Blinn's basically got advantage here.
Ooh. Now they certainly have advantage here as that Kiriko has gone down. This Echo should not be far behind. She gets the trade, but I think it hardly matters because that Kiriko's missing. Suzu not going to be there. Kitsune Rush nowhere near happening. Oh, even poor Widow can't get out of the way. Incredible dominance coming out once again from Blinn College. Only 140 seconds left on the clock, and this team, they want to win this out. They want to guarantee us a map 4. They want to put a series on our hands. They're getting closer and closer to being able to do so. They just have to make sure they don't slip it up.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, sound barrier is going to be super important here. Blinn's probably going to use this to lead in. That would be the best case scenario for them to lead in and win this fight to start.
Oh, I love the beat from Diorite. It comes out early, but it gives the team the confidence they need to continue pedaling forward to get that hyper aggression they're looking for. Jimico drops the beat of their own in a response, and now the Death Blossom from Blinn should be a freebie. Kitsune comes out from College Lone, and now definitely maybe do not Death Blossom. I think it's completely unnecessary at this point. But Blinn, they win the fight, and it wasn't a stabilization fight. It was a take the lead fight, and they're going to make their lead even further.
Vader, your MVP of that fight. First of all, takes care of the Kiriko, and then gets another shot off. That was so huge for them to win the fight, especially if you can get Proto out of the fight. And now look, they're playing the stagger game out here to make sure that maybe they have to pull out a pulse bomb to win this fight, and they're not even going to land it.
That's devastating as Manually's going back onto the Tracer. The Tracer, a real power player, back on Lijiang Tower, but here on New Queen Street, it's just not working out. Pink Piggy, an incredible 2-piece, now making a possible over double lead for Blinn College here in the numbers department. This team has really come to life, folks. This is exactly what we expected. This is the 2 and 3 seed going head-to-head, toe-to-toe, desperate to make it into those grand finals, which they are completing this series away from.
Well, the fight's still going on. Cyber's got 2 already. I mean, Brian and Strang can bring this all the way back, but they need to win a lot more if they want to. So they've got 3 kills now. So, but
they gotta win it
you got to win everything here. It's every single fight you got to win. Not only that, the biggest thing for Blinn that will help them is they do not have that forward spawn checkpoint, meaning they've got one fight around the robot if they want to win it. And Blinn is coming up on an overclock, and the way Vader has been hitting shots, that's your key to win this game here.
Absolutely, Vader has that overclock online. They're going to have to work wonders with him. And Pink Piggy gets 1 clip by manually, 3 ultimates, now nearly 5 in the pocket of Brian and Stratton. You've got to wonder if Blinn College will be able to clutch this down. Oh, Cyber missing, 15 seconds remain. Overclock not able to find much. Oh, and there it is. Crim going to be going down just as quickly. Manually gets into the front line, trying to take this. Oh, what catches? A railgun charge straight to the dome. Manually falls Crim out of sight, and all of a sudden, Brian and Stratton have crumbled beneath the hands of Blinn College. It's going to be a great disruptor field, trying to catch the Lucio, trying to make him say Lucio no, and he certainly will. Falls early on, and the Winston returns, but nobody there to keep him alive. Overtime begins to tick away, and I believe Blinn College has forced a map number 4, but as the Primal comes out, that stall could be exactly what they need to try and win this fight out in overtime.
Well, they're still playing it out. Look, and now they've got a sound barrier and a Kitsune rush. This is all in the hands of Blinn right now. This is theirs to lose. If they lose this fight, I don't know about the rest of this.
I have to agree, but the fight shall not be lost by Blinn College. They shall tie the series up 1-1, the 2 and 3 seed. They restabilize. They make sure that everybody is trying their absolute hardest, and it looks like we are going to go at the very least to a map number 4.
I mean, what a game we have so far. And yes, we're going to see at least 4 maps, which means, yes, we will see the escort map at the very least. But, yeah, we'll see all 4 map types here at the very least. But right now, as it stands, I mean, you saw the way that for Blinn College, they knew their win con, right? A lot of the fights early on that you saw was either 1, Vader getting a shot off, or 2, they got rid of Crim on that Echo early on. If you can control that Echo in the air, or when they're low to the ground, that's a win for you. That's a super big win for you. And Jimicle, I think one of the big things is Jimicle likes to play aggressive. So if you can take care of that aggressiveness early on, especially with that sound barrier, you saw one sound barrier just only catch himself, and that was pretty much it. No, that sound barrier was really big for them, especially in the coming fights afterwards. So losing that sound barrier was big. So for Blinn, they played that almost to perfection, if you will, after the back and forth that was the first 6.5 minutes. Remember, the first 6.5, we did not see a checkpoint being captured. That's how long that back and forth went. And finally, within the last 3.5, Blinn brought it all the way back. They were able to secure what was fight wins thanks to Vader showing up at the end. I said overclock needed to be big in the final seconds. 2 shots, 2 kills, huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vader, you've got to wonder, they won. I don't want to harp on Blinn too much. You've got to wonder where that Sojourn was on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's good. Clearly it's practice. Clearly it's impressive. You lost to an Echo. Like, exclusively. It was a 1v5 95% of the time. You got to wonder where that Sojourn was at. But I've got to wonder, maybe you've got a little more insight on this than me. You can't run Echo on Kings, right? I mean, that's not going to work well.
Potentially you can, but there's not a lot of space for the Echo to play, so it's not a great option, especially right now with Vader hitting their shots, and we know how Vader can just hit every shot, right? We saw Kiriko climbing up the wall. We saw Crim going down by the hands of Vader as well. With Vader hitting shots, the Echo really isn't great, especially on King's Row. So you imagine that maybe, I don't know if there's going to be a sub or not, but I don't think you play the Echo here. It might just, we saw this back in the last part where it's a comfort pick, but now that Blinn knows their win con and they have Vader hitting shots, Vader's warmed up. So the best thing for them right now is maybe switch it up a little bit. Go to the Tracer and the Reaper, right? The Reaper didn't get changed. Tracer got an increased damage. If you're going to dive with those 2 right now, even though you've got, you're just going to push right in, and that's going to allow you to spam enough damage to win out against that team, especially against the Sojourn, who still has to aim, right? The Reaper can just dive right in on your back line, the rest of the team. Sojourn still has to hit shots, especially that secondary railgun shot becomes so much more important with the spam damage. So now we go to King's Row here, and Vader, again, don't fix it's not broken. They're on the defensive side here, but I love this Doomfist pick here from Cyber that's going to allow them to go right in. And look, Crim's playing a favorite of yours if this holds true.
Yeah, if this holds true, the Junkrat comes out. I think it makes a lot of sense. Junkrat, a very strong character on this map due to the fact the entire map is essentially choke points one way or another, and that's exactly where Junkrat survives. That's where he thrives, truly. So I would like to see Crim on it. I really don't want to see the Echo here, but I feel like Manuely's got to be memeing. On the other side, Blinn College, they're bringing out the Torbjorn. That feels very anti-Echo. That feels very intentional. But, maybe they're going to find out the hard way they did not need that.
I actually think they're going to stick with the Echo here, but I like the spam. If BSC is playing this, I kind of like the spam damage that is going to be out from Crim and manually. It's just, are you going to be able to produce enough damage that is the constantness of Vader and Pink Piggy? That's going to be your big difference. If Crim and manually can get the spam damage more so than Vader and Pink Piggy's constant damage, BSC is going to win this pretty easily.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that. I think I can agree with that truly. But as of right now, Crim gets onto site. Cyber goes in early, uses every cooldown, and it's manually flanks into the back line, finds that Winston early. That should be Brian and Stratton able to win this first map, as the rest of Blinn has to try and get out of dodge. They have to try and not get picks, but unfortunately, the chase down, the rush down is working wonders. 2 on a third of the point already capped, and it looks like College Loan has to TP out of there as well. Blinn should have this time to recontest. If they can get through Brian and Stratton, they can get around the choke through the arch, then they should be able to recontest. But as of now, I don't think they're going to have time to, because they can't just hold W in. This Doom doing such a good job just forcing them back.
Yeah, Cyber's doing such a wonderful job at zoning them out, and that's exactly what the Doomfist is doing, right? You're zoning them out. You're allowing the rest of your team to push in, also making sure that your backline doesn't die by a third person, which is now the Doomfist, who is going to have a Meteor Strike. And Brian and Stratton's got basically all the ultimates in the bank except for a duplicate here, so this is going to be advantage to them. They're not going to get stuck underneath this archway anytime soon.
Not anytime soon at all, Clutch. I mean, just to see that Sojourn go down right there. Crim found the elimination. 4 ultimates. 2 of them, or sorry, 1 of them already used, so 3 ultimates standing for Brian and Stratton. Cyber's 2-piece. I mean, it just feels like Blinn is constantly tuck tail running back to spawn. They can't get out of the way fast enough.
Yeah, and this Molten Core really isn't going to be very effective either, because
goodness.
everybody's in the air, right? You can get Crim that launches up in the air. Good switch, by the way, to the Somber. Now you can disrupt Cyber or manually in that case, or go for the backline at the same time, too. Unfortunately, you lose 60% of your ultimate for a refund here. So Blinn only basically has 3 ultimates to use. Brian Stratton got the entire thing except for an application matrix, which they use to zone out. So this is going to be one fight territory for the second point if they play this right.
And Sombra getting pretty aggressively nerfed in the most recent patch. She cannot hack the same person over and over. It takes 8 seconds before you're able to hack the same person again. So Sombra gets a lot of less value in a situation like this one, but clearly the Sojourn's still working out very, very well. I love the tap there. The Terra Surge, the Javelin into the wall cannot save them fast enough, and the Junkrat does get out of that fight once again. Difficult's Baptiste just giving that constant go-ahead to Cyber. Immortality feels so very strong in this matchup, and right now Blinn College, I mean, this fight has been happening on third. Clutch, I thought they capped second already.
No, not at all. They haven't even capped it yet. That's
Insane.
how big this spam damage is working out for Brian and Stratton right now. They have so much spam damage that they can just push right up with only one healer and on the card. The rest of the team can push up. And look, now they're using the Kitsune Rush. How far do they want to go with this?
I mean, they are really just trying to force Blinn College all the way back into their spawn. This is Lijiang Tower all over again. Kitsune gives them the opening they need, that go-ahead to get into the forefront, to get the upfront on Blinn College. Overclock online, and here's a Kitsune Rush coming out from Blinn, trying to retake this corner. And this corner, a great place to stall a team out. We have seen teams stalled here what feels like 1,000 times over. Oh, the transformation on it manually does not even get to exist. I don't even think I got to see who they swapped into that happened so fast. Manually hacked out by Pink Piggy. The follow-up not there. Only a 30% damage boost on the hacked targets. No longer the 60 that we saw in the first patch of Overwatch 1. Vader finds 1, but Crim gonna find the main tank. Overclock has to come out, making up for that missing tank. And oh, they missed the shot. The Immortality field comes out, but the Baptiste will finally go down. I think Brian Stratton, for the first time, has to try and get out of the way. I mean, this has been so dominant. They don't even care they lose that fight. I gotta be honest. They've got 4.5 minutes in the fight. Isn't even lost yet.
No, and Cyber coming right back in. And look, Blinn's got nothing on the board. Brian's got the tire still ready to go, and they are still forcing him all the way back. Cyber probably falls here with the way that they're pressuring him, but right now, I mean, BSC lasted so long, and this is what this comp does. And look, they're still winning the fight.
And I can tell you, Diorite definitely getting a bit tilted off of the back of that double Rip Tire solo kill, being the Junkrat in that scenario. I've seen many a Lucio get pretty tilted off the back of that one, and something tells me you're not going to be seeing that change today. Vader falls to Manually, who's now finally onto the off the Echo onto the Sojourn. Kitsune comes out from Crota, and that should be enough for Brian and Stratton to win this out. Terra Surge gets the Immortality field, and the Orisa gives her life for it. Diorite falls to Crim for the 3rd time in a row. The 3-piece from Crim on the J Silly gives Brian and Stratton 3.5 minutes. Full cap Kings Row.
Wow, I mean, at the end there, like, you were very confused. Let's go back to the point that you were very confused as to Oh, I thought they capped 2. No, they're still 1 towards 2. No,
Seriously?
Yeah, they were all the way there, but that's what you get out of this spam damage, right? You get so much damage being able to push forward, and when you have confident healers that are able to bring you up, then that just means that that last person on the card can just sing along their troubles away because they're just able to just, you know, laze around and let that payload keep moving. But for Blinn, they had no answer. The only answer they had was when Vader finally unleashed that overclock and was able to get 2 shots in. That was their only fight win, if that, because Cyber then comes in with the Doomfist and just gets rid of them right away on the Meteor Strike. So now Blinn has to find an answer for what Cyber is bringing out. They've changed everything. They've changed the way they play. Grim no longer on the Echo. Manually was on the Echo now, and now Manually's going to go onto the Sojourn. So Brian and Stratton showing off that their depth on this pool is well worth examining, because now Blinn's got to find an answer for every single thing they throw at him, especially this Junkrat from Grim. You saw in the last kill fight there, Grim got 3. And that's the biggest part of your spam damage comp. And now Grim staying on that. This is going to be a massive, this has got to be a massive attack here from Blinn to start this off.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be nearly flawless. Blinn's Vader are going to go for the King's Row Widowmaker, where you play Widow out of spawn. If you don't get a pick, whatever, you just swamp, and it really doesn't cost your team that much time. Gets the body shot onto Krim, but the heal up is immediately there. Very impressive performance from the supports of Brian and Stratton, keeping this team up and running. Headshot, but onto Cyber, so it's not as valuable as you may expect. Immortality kill goes down early on the side of Brian and Stratton, and that should be an encouraging thing. But right now, Blinn College can't really make it through the choke. They get the hook onto the least optimal target. Manually finds Vader, and Blinn College already has to return to spawn in a desperate attempt to try and recontest.
And look, you're focusing on Cyber, but Manually and Krim are just letting it go in free range. And on the side here, they're just giving so much free roam, and that's what happens when you're just focusing the Doom down. The Doom can get out super easily, and that's big for you. Jimmicle is out, which means you've only got 1 mortality left. Vader's hitting shots again. Here we go.
You hate to see it though, Clutch. You gotta wonder, is it too little too late? You know, I use that phrase so often. You found 2, your team can recontest, but they are going to return to the fight, so you most likely will have an elongated 5v5 scenario. Grim currently out of position, stuck onto the high ground there. The Widow has his number, but just can't find the digits. That's going to be Krim staying alive in the back line. Cyber falls early with the tank missing. It's that much harder. Vader falls to Manually 4v4. Oh! Piggy. I'd be furious if I was that Echo. That is so unfortunate, and it looks like this may be a fight win for Brian and Stratton. Overclock comes out, almost more insult to injury here, as I think the fight was already won, but they want to guarantee it, and that is going to do it. Vader from their own spawn door has their head removed from their shoulders.
These DPSs from Brian and Stratton are insane. The Junkrat kill onto the Echo from above, and then Manually just hitting shots onto the Widowmaker from spawn. This is insane the way Brian and Stratton has right now, and now they're going to have 2 ultimates, a Riptire and a Kitsune Rush. Blinn's got nothing on the board but a Kitsune Rush. They might have the Meat Grinder, though, so this is probably going to be the one that they can go in on, the Roadhog plus the Kitsune Rush in.
Yeah, that could be huge. Your Kitsune Rush with that whole hog is so nasty with the Kitsune Clash. Both Kirikos gonna bring it out early. Jimmicle bites the bullet from Vader's Railgun, and that could be Blinn College's go. But Diorite, for the 4th time, is solo rip-tired by Krim. That whole hog useless when Doomfist has that block move. Literally almost completely negated, and Krim stays alive, 10 HP or less. A lot of ultimates used, no space gained, and Blinn College only 100 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and that was I think it was a misplay there, because you had I think you had NJCAAE with the whole hog, but didn't use it at all in the span of that Kitsune Rush. Did not use it. That's such a powerful ult to use, and you didn't use it at the same time. I mean, that's just a miscommunication or a misplay there, because now Blinn on the back end with only 1:18 left, switching on over to the Zarya, maybe to help you out alongside a Hanzo Dragon, but Immortality Field plus a second Immort from Proto is going to be enough time to get you out of that. So right now, Blinn's going to come up big, especially with maybe 1 fight left if this goes on.
Yeah, I mean, 60 seconds, this is essentially one last full fight. Best case scenario, you do what I always call the panic push to recontest, and usually people are playing sloppy in that moment because they're panicking they're going to lose. Losing, though, seems like it could be just around the corner for Blinn College as Brian and Stratton brings out an Amp Matrix early, as if Manually needed the help. They find 3 out the gate. Let's make it 4. Maybe an ace. That would be pretty sick. It looks like we're right around the corner from getting one. Cyber steals it, but will count it because a majority of the damage comes from Manually. Now 30 seconds remain. Only 1 ultimate in their pocket, and Blinn College, they need nothing short of a miracle right now.
Manually is just automatic with these shots. I mean, just hitting everything possible, especially on a 4K. I mean, Cyber takes it away, sure, but Manually gets played just from that alone. The shots are so huge, and now Blinn has to come up on this Graviton Surge and Dragons right now. This is your last shot. You need to come up with it, or Vader needs to hit everything possible because you've got no support ults coming up soon.
Yeah, the worst part is there's no way you're farming Grab Dragons in the 11 seconds left, so you're going to have to rely on that overclock early to get a pick and then farm Grab Dragons after the opening pick of the fight. Kitsune comes out from College Lone in a desperate attempt to touch the point. It's answered by Proto, but Cyber has already found Vader, so the overclock that needed to be huge will instead not even be used. Cyber has fallen. Let's see a solo tire again, right? Why not? Just for giggles. I love the zoning there. The Zarya has fallen. Grim is gone. Jimmicle falls. College Lone taken out by Proto, and it looks like there might be another one. The Dragons onto point are desperate. Is anybody there to touch in this critical moment? It looks like they're not going to be as the Hanzo gets caught out on the high ground, taken down by Proto. It is the Supporto combat from this Kiriko that wins map number 2 on the side of Brian and Stratton, Virginia. Absolutely incredible gameplay, flawless all over again.
Wow, I thought that was going to land up differently. I saw Diorite getting 2 kills there. I mean, the early picks just basically shut them down. And look, manually coming in, like I said, this is going to be play right here, and you can see the shot through the application matrix for the second one, and then third and fourth says, I got this, the rest of the way through. And right now, I mean, for Brian and Stratton, the Bombcats have done everything perfectly. They basically shut them out. And that's what map picks can do, right? If you win map number 1, you're at such a big advantage because that means if you lose 2, you're picking the next 2 maps no matter what. If you win, I mean, right now, Brian and Stratton's got the biggest advantage going in to map number 5 if we get there. But now Blinn's got advantage with map pick, and it's going to be Escort coming up next. So plenty of options to go through for Escort, if you will. But what do you do against guys hitting shots and spam damage? You obviously don't want a tight space like Kings Row that you just saw, especially with that Junkrat. I mean, sure, it was solo tires, but it still made impact, if you will, each and every single time, right? You get rid of a Lucio or you get rid of the Zarya, right? Every single time you got impact from that tire. So for Blinn, don't try to pick anything in close range, right? Maybe you want something that hits more shots if you can get Vader to take down manually on that Sojourn v Sojourn battle. So maybe a Junkertown or maybe a Dorado a little bit more open there. Not as much room on Dorado, but a little bit more open, if you will, on Junkertown. Maybe not second or third point, but still gets you at least a map point to try to win out. But I mean, right now it could be comfort pick. Route 66, also another open map that you could go for as well. So,
but if you go to an open map,
then you've got to deal with an echo, right?
So it's a very back and forth. It's a very difficult scenario to be in.
Yeah. So right now
you've got to deal with one or the other.
Right. So we'll find out what map is coming up next soon enough when they pick. But I mean, I got to be for Blinn. There's so many maps you could pick here. It's not just counterpointing one right now. Brian and Stratton played that war. You got to find a map to pick out every single one of them because any of them can pop out at any given moment.
Yeah, Dorado, Eichenwald, both incredible Echo maps. Junkertown, first point, very good for Echo. Second and third, not as much. Maybe you go to Junkertown, maybe you try to play anti-Echo, but as we learned, when the Echo doesn't get time to shine, Sojourn steps right into that spotlight from the side of manually, so it's very difficult. You've got to win these DPS duels, and that might go back to a difference in play style, playing a little bit more slow, a little bit more conservative, to let them come into you and then get picks accordingly. It's going to be difficult because the DPS are all very strong, but after losing a map, Brian and Stratton, fire was lit underneath them. They want to win this map. They want to win the series 3-1, and they want to secure themselves that spot in Grand Finals, and now they're one map away from doing so.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, it's for Blinn right now, it's just not really maybe map choice. It's maybe just trying to find a win con, right? Your win con in game number 1 was shutting down Kryn. That was your biggest thing. And it could be very well the same thing here, but now you also got to worry about manually who steps right in to that second DPS role and just absolutely make sure that now both of the DPSs are absolutely key to win that game. Sure, you have Kitsune rushes and your Samir is coming out big, but if Jimiko still plays aggressively, at least you know you can get rid of him, but now the DPSs are your problem with the spam damage going on. So again, next map, the next map pick is going to be super important because if you're playing for comfort, then if you're playing for comfort, then right now you're playing, one of the older maps on Overwatch 1. But as we just learned in our heads, the next map coming up is Circuit Royale. So this becomes a little more interesting because it's more longer sightlines, right? This is where the Widowmakers, the Sojourns come out, right? This is where all the longer sightlines, we might even see an Ashe, because I don't think Ashe got changed at all in the patch as well. So it could come down to basically longer sightlines. This is Sigma special oriented too, although, lately I've been seeing a lot of Doomfist on this map too. So, I mean, if Cyber sticks onto this Doomfist, could work out for them, especially moving in fast, moving in rightfully so to the back line. So we'll see if that's the case here. But for Blinn, this is maybe more of a comfort pick for them. So longer sight lines, maybe they're hoping that Vader can pop off, especially on that Soldier.
Yeah, absolutely. I suspect Widowmaker to come out. We saw a pretty impressive Widowmaker play from the side of Blinn College on Kings Row first, and this map, Circuit Royale, does lend itself pretty aggressively to that Widowmaker gameplay. Doomfist, I agree, could be a pick here. Sigma has been very popular on first point of this map, which it then tends to swap to Orisa for second and third if we get as far as those. But in Kings Row, we're lucky we got to see all three because we barely got to see the first one in the second half of the game. This is going to be a lot of viability, a lot of versatility can come out here. Pharah can be incredibly valuable. Echo can get a lot of value on first and second, but right now, it's looking like that Widow duel that I personally am very excited to see.
Yeah, they switch sides as well, so Blinn's going to get the first shot at attacking here for their side. So, I mean, right now, if you're looking at the lineups here, looks longer sight lines, and I exactly said it. Krim is going to go on to the Ashe, right? Hanzo also a great pick here. So it's a sniper v sniper battle, essentially, that you're going to get out of this. And right now with Brian and Stratton, this is your biggest shot at this. Blinn is not playing the Kiriko Lucio. They are playing the Kiriko Ana right now, and Brian and Stratton have nothing to combat a Bionade to go on them, right? You only have an Immortality field to save you, if that. So right now, this Ana is going to be super, super important if Blinn wants to come out with a win here.
I mean, this Ana goes one of two ways, right? She either gets insane value, gets the Bionade of a lifetime, lots of sleeps and nanos, or she gets deleted from existence, as Anas tend to do in Overwatch 2. There's a lot of versatility, there's a lot of back and forth on what is going to happen, but right now, Jimmickle already gone manually, missing as well, and Blinn College starting very strong with their primary push on Circuit Royale. This first fight is essentially already won. They just need to keep the aggression up, get around that first corner for free, try to get as close to the second corner as possible, and see if they can just snipe first point within the first minute.
See, and look how much value the Sigma's getting, right? Same thing with the Ana, too. You saw Cyber, as soon as that Bionade hit Cyber, Cyber pulled back, and that was already 2 kills in. So Brian and Stratton right now playing off the back foot, especially with Blinn and NJCAAE already having 70% to an ultimate. Look at Cyber, only 35%. This is looking really good for Blinn to win out this next fight.
Ooh, Piggy does find manually. The Doomfist goes deep into the back line, but Vader just grapples away in a pretty critical moment there. I love the double sniper. It's working super well for this team. And ew, that stupid Hanzo recoil bug is so ugly, but clearly it is not bothering Pink Piggy at all. Found Krim, who's now on the Ashe clutch. You nailed the prediction there. Cyber finds that Hanzo, but I'm fearing it may be too little too late. Gravitic Flex comes out. Baptiste up, Immortality Field in the back pocket. Has to use it, stays alive. Vader gone. Jimmickle falls, and that is going to be a lot of healing off the side of Brian and Stratton. Blinn College should be ready to all but walk this cart into this first point cap.
Yeah, and they're already just going to give this up. There's no chance for them to even try to fight back. What a rock up there. What an accretion up there. That's huge. And then, again, look, for Blinn, right, on the Sigma, 35% already to an ultimate. Cyber hasn't even built one up yet. Already almost halfway to an ultimate, and look, they're going to cap point number 1. They already have to try to back off, and now this is where this high sight line. Krim gets rid of Pink Pig early, so now that high ground becomes oh so important.
Yeah, the high ground is going to be pivotal here, especially when you're running a double sniper comp like both of these teams are. Blinn College in a bit of an uphill climb, and it looks like it's going to get a little bit easier as Grim gets a little overzealous with the peak. Vader gives him a haircut that comes a little bit too short there, sends them back to the spawn room, and now Blinn College, they've got the numbers, but numbers, honestly, as stupid as this sounds, not super important in this area, simply due to the fact the recontest, the stall potential is so insane for this team. We see that this team already fully returned into it. We see a trick shot going to be interrupted by this Sigma taking down Widowmaker early. Accretion onto Doomfist. He has to Meteor Strike to get out of the fight, but he comes right back down just as quickly. Can't find an elimination. Slept. Pink Piggy gone. Cyber 141 HP, down to 50, down to 2, and he will finally fall to the Sigma. A critical moment for Blinn College to try and reclaim the lead, but Jimmickle, a bit of supportal combat, going to be interrupted by Sigma all over again.
But you see how much value this Ana is getting, right? The Ana sleeping Cyber, making sure that Cyber stays right where he is after the Meteor Strike comes down, and so with nothing to counter it right now, Brian and Stratton only have a Transcendence to play with. Transcendence got to be huge here. They're not even going to use it.
Yeah, weird dragons there, and I think that holding out the Transcendence, a very intelligent play from a very intelligent player. A lot of people would have panicked there, would have popped Trank, and now it comes out actually too late. So I do take back a little bit of my compliment there, but a valiant effort indeed from Jimmickle. Trying to win out the 1v1, caught underneath, and the longer you stay alive down there, the more of a problem it becomes, simply due to the fact you cannot recontest with your team, you cannot regroup, and now they have to go into this down 1 Zenyatta.
Well, now you're definitely down 1 Zenyatta as well, but App Matrix comes out, so they got to win this if they're going to do anything now.
Chemical falls and Matrix out, gonna be answered out by the Kitsune Rush. Diorite trying to find a little bit of value, and Blink College just powerhousing their way through Brian and Stratton right now. They're giving us their own example of, hey, we lost a map. Let's show them what a win looks like. Crim finds Pink Piggy too little too late. Second point cap already online, and the trade to boot. That's definitely gonna be hurting as this team, they want to try and restabilize, and right now BNS are not even gonna get close to restabilization. The Sigma comes out, he loses the fight, hyper aggressive to this Sigma from Blink College once again, and that is just, I mean, having an absolute field day right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Blinn College, look, Cymer switched off to the Sigma now, which gives him the refund about 30%, but look, Ginja's already up to 80, 70% as well, and Jimico moving on over to the Kiriko could be good for them, because now you've got something to counter the Ana finally on a Bionade, but it might be too little too late with so much time left to go on the clock, but manually hitting shots like that, I mean, if they can keep hitting shots from the side, from above, it's looking better than it was previously.
Yeah, Manually really starting to hit some headshots here. The shield comes out, keeping that Sigma alive, and Manually goes down to 54 HP. Gonna get healed right back out. Misses the shot onto Vader. They both choose to repeat the same angle. An incredibly bold move, but it doesn't cost either of them yet. Vader goes down, gonna get caught out early, and that gives Brian and Stratton a huge opportunity. Here's Kinetic Flux. Immortality Field comes out, forces the team down very low. Pink Piggy is actually the one to lose their life in the fight, and that is definitely going to be an elimination. And Brian and Stratton is glad to see. They needed to restabilize. There was 5 minutes on the clock. They've already burned it down to 3, and it looks like they might be able to burn it down even more if they can keep up this hyper aggression.
They used the nano boost though, so this Sigma's just going to have free reign to just go right in, as well as some heals, and Grim gone. That's huge.
Crim has gone down. Vader finds the headshot, Manually still standing. We've seen what this Widow is capable of if you give her the space to move. Has to reposition back onto the high ground. Gets the body shot onto Pink Piggy. Catches a body shot of their own. Just barely misses out that second arrow that would have been a lethal one. And the action pack continues. Manually finds Vader in a huge play moment that the team needed. Pink Piggy has dragons, but Manually says you don't even get to use them. There's only one sniper in town, and it's going to be me.
Oh, Blinn's coming up on 4 ultimates, though, so this is looking better and better for them, even if their time mag gets drained a little bit. They had about over 4 minutes left to go. What a shot. And, okay, so now it's a little bit back off situation. They're going to trade off for right now, but Blinn's got 4 in the bank. Brian and Stratton's got 1. Kitsune Rush has to be big, or Blinn College can just go all systems go, especially with the Gravitic Flux online to start.
4.5 ultimates for Blinn College, and they may not even have to use them as Crim is taken out early. They put up sights. They make sure they can get a little bit more intel, no secrets on the side of Brian and Stratton. Kitsune Rush going to be answered out by 1 from Jimical. Everybody gets the speed boost. Everybody gets the cooldown reduction, but it's Diorite who falls early. Crota traded out by that sniper. It is just the DPS duel right now that is deciding the pace of play for both of these teams. Pink Piggy has the dragons. Honestly, I wouldn't be upset to see him popped right now, but considering this team used everything else, they want to hold on to these dragons a little bit longer. College Loan completely overextends on the Ana and going to fall for the first time in a long time, but that is a pivotal elimination to lose.
Yeah, and right now the Ana isn't really working out for you anymore because you have that Kiriko going on, right? The Suzu cancels out a Bionade. You also have another Immortality Field from Proto, so either way, this Ana really isn't working out for you. So for right now, Blinn does not have, oh my god, Blinn does not have a defensive ultimate to play with either, right? And so, I mean, Brian and Stratton doesn't either, but at least that Immortality Field gives you a little while. Blinn doesn't have that possibility. So right now, Blinn actually playing back on the back foot here, so this nano boost probably going to go on to Ginja, who needs to show up big, especially in Final Fight mode.
Oh, Pink Piggy catches a railgun to the dome, and now an overclock from Crim to seal the deal. We have nearly 5 minutes, and we are down to 45 seconds right now. Brian and Stratton just dominant all over again. A very strong start, an impressive one at that, one that Blinn can be proud of. The win condition has been set, but Brian and Stratton, they are not going to let them cap that 3rd point.
Yeah, and now you see them switch on over to a little bit more of a divey situation, maybe to try and get up to that Widowmaker and maybe to get in their backline a little bit easier. But right now, Pink Piggy and Ginja, this is all systems go or just to touch the point. But right now, if you're Pink Piggy, your goal to get to the Widowmaker and make sure she does nothing else in this situation.
You need to make sure this Widow gets absolutely no value, and that may be why the Genji swap comes out here. They want to try to deflect something, take her out of the fight, or at least make her a little more nervous to throw those full shard shots out. Proto has been taken down, and the recontest, the reset coming out. I love Manually's angle here, has the intel, hits the body shot, misses the headshot, but forces the recall. Jimmicle goes down, both supports now missing. Grim gone, the disruptor field finds Vader and College Low. Oh, now Diorite! Oh my goodness, manually! Incredible performance. Even if you go down, you got your one. You are good to go, my friend. And that should be enough for Brian and Stratton to recontest in absolute dominance here. I cannot believe we got that on camera.
Wow, they're not even going to be able to touch. That's unreal. I thought right at the end there, Blinn finally had their answer. But when Vader goes down and manually just starts to pop, you get nothing. You get no shot at completing the map the rest of the way there. And at the same token, right, I mean, they finally found a way in. Unfortunately, you only had 30 seconds left when you finally found out we need to kind of contest this Widow a little bit because they're just hitting every single shot. It took a little too long to try to figure that one out for Blinn. So now Blinn's got to do what they did on first point. They need to be dominating on the Sigma and the sightlines that is the Widowmaker and the Hanzo. However, if manually starts hitting shots like that, you're not even going to get a chance to play like that. So, I mean, what do you do if you're Blinn, right? This is desperation situation. You need to play basically defense on this whole entire map to take this to to map 5, which is push. But for right now, Brian and Stratton have their key. If they're going to play an Ana, we can play 2 immortalities, one that'll cleanse and one that'll keep us in a fight, especially with Proto on that Baptiste. So which is a little bit of a different pick. Blinn College now going to opt, yes, maybe we need a defensive ult, especially against this team. So Diorite now on the Zenyatta, especially on a long sightline map like this one, might work out for them as long as Diorite can get the Transcendence earlier than Jimmico can find a Kitsune Rush.
Finding the Kitsune Rush is going to be the name of the game. The win condition has been set, and we are staring it in the face right now. That Kitsune duel, the Kitsune clash, has been so unbelievably important for both of these teams in their general levels of success. Vader plays a low ground Widowmaker, an insane risk, but it looks like it's not going to cost them much. Tries to relocate, getting behind the Sigma, but I mean, those Hanzo arrows, those logs, dude, they will catch you when you least expect them. So Vader really has to hold that S key, make sure they don't overextend, because the smallest overextension can cost your team the entire first point.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they're playing low ground for right now, but they know that it's going to be high ground for the Widowmaker. So, again, not a bad risk, but if you're low ground and you don't have that shield in front of you, not really going to work out anyways. If you find this Widowmaker, that's big for you, but right now they're just focusing down, and that Orb of Discord is going to be big for you as well if you can find a hit.
Oh, the Widow trade is actually going to be pretty disadvantageous for the side of Blinn College due to the spawn differential. Brian and Stratton, they can get right back into the front there, and nobody going to be falling, at least not yet, except for those Widowmakers. The Sigma on the side of Blinn College has to move back pretty quickly. Krim finds College Lone just as that shield goes up. Cyber falls in the accretion, catches out Krim as well. Pink Piggy giving us the best example. I was trying to talk about those logs known as Hanzo arrows. They will catch you out when you least expect them, and it gives Blinn College the confidence they need to try and restabilize their dominance once again.
And they were in a lot of trouble as well because they got pressured so much that Proto and Diorite and College Loan, or rather, sorry, Proto and Jimmico had to use their immortalities, but to try to win that fight, unfortunately, doesn't happen. But now, manually, again, hitting shots, they're finally going to get it around the first few turns here. And again, manually, I mean, what do you want to say about a guy that just hits every single shot? You hit this jump shot, oh my goodness. Oh, that was close.
Goes for it. I gotta respect the trick shot there, because if you found it, it really guarantees your team essentially a whole extra 10, 12 seconds of push. Could guarantee your team that first point cap, but it's not going to be happening yet. That is a universe we are not living in. However, Vader with a phenomenal trick shot of their own. Hey, that's why projectiles stink a little bit more than hit scan, but a trade is a trade regardless. You took that high ground contester off the face of the face of the map, whatever I'm trying to say right now, and all of a sudden, Blinn College should have enough to restabilize. I love the camaraderie in the team chat there. Nice shot. Dragons online, they could definitely use them just as a bit of a scare tactic, honestly. They could get hyper-aggressive with them. They could scare the team back with Levitic Flux from Cyber that opens up the door for Brian and Stratton once again. 2 members already missing from Blinn College, and I don't think Blinn's going to be able to turn this one around. It's all about stalling now.
You know how that door was open? Diorite didn't have the Transcendence in time for these for the Gravitic Flux. In other words, Cyber played free there. You don't have an immortality field to save yourself either, so that Transcendence goes all for nothing. So Blinn's got the entire board, but Brian Stratton's got the bank as well. So they've got 4 minutes to play here for the second to the third point with everything to play.
Gravitic Flux comes out early from Blinn College, and nobody's going to fall to it quite yet. The Dragons from Crim going to be counteracted. A bit of kind of a cross out there. Jimmickle caught out in the back line. College lone 1 HP in a dream right now. Gets healed up, stays alive in the combat, but not long enough to really hit the numbers on it. Crim Storm Arrow puts College lone back into the spawn. We've got 3:30 on the clock, and Crim removed from this mortal coil once again. Blinn College, I think they should have a stabilization here, but that's if this Kitsune isn't absolutely huge. It looks like it very well may be. Pink Piggy falls. Blinn College has to hold that S-key. Tails tucked between their spawns. It's time to back up and get back to that spawn room, my friends. Vader trying desperately to make sure the team can stay alive, but desperately is still not going to be enough to keep this team's momentum in your favor. Brian and Stratton finally getting that card moving once again.
But good news for Blinn, right? You hold on to 2 ultimates. I mean, it's an infra site, but Kitsune Rush is the bigger thing. Now, for Cyber, you do not have a Transcendence to worry about because you got it out in that last fight. So for Brian and Stratton, your win con here gets something out of this Gravitic Flux.
The sights can absolutely be huge here, especially when you can get headshots like that onto Crim. Hanzo taken offline, Immortality Field missing, and this Kitsune doesn't even need to exist as that Kiriko goes down. Pink Piggy will be traded out by Cyber. A Gravitic Flux from Cyber trying to find something, but the rest of his team is already gone. Accretion going to be missed out of that Sigma, and this Sigma going to be missed for the rest of this fight.
Yeah, and so Blinn College. Yeah, for Blinn College, I mean, you won that fight spectacularly. You got rid of the Gravitic Flux, and you didn't have a Kitsune Rush. So now the only thing you got to worry about is an App Matrix. Don't go in front of it. Respect the window a little bit. You'll be fine. And especially with Ginja coming up on the Gravitic Flux as well, and no defensive ult other than the Immortality Field. You pull off that Immor Field early, you're going to win this fight.
Absolutely. Gravitic Flux comes out early from Blinn College. Speaking of how early things can be, and it's the Suzu that saves them. They hold on to the Immortality Field. A very intelligent play. Manually finds Vader with the headshot elimination there and gets the high ground once again towards the street, looking for another pick. Just can't find it, but the rest of the team got to clean up the slack just a little bit there. Brian and Stratton, I believe those eliminations should give them the 2nd point cap. I mean, it would be kind of a death ball recontest from Blinn if they chose to do so.
Yeah, no, you can play without your... unless Vader starts hitting every single head.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, you have a shot at it. Wait, they can still recontest, actually. Ginja's not down. Oh, but now Ginja finally goes down. Okay, if Ginja stayed alive there as long as he did and could have walked right back to the wow, good shots from Manually again. So now here's your desperation mode, right? Blinn College was held here for about 5 minutes. Brian and Stratton only has 3. So Blinn now needs to replicate what Brian and Stratton did here on defensive side, and they're gonna think, yes, let's dive the Widowmaker this time around. Now that we know what the win con is, we know that we have to dive this Widow. Let's dive him with the Genji as well as the Tracer and the Winston here.
Yeah, Manually really well maybe the sole reason that Brian and Stratton was able to hold so aggressively. So Blinn College rotating their entire team composition to make sure this Widow does not get the value we saw her get back in that first half of the game. You remove her from the equation, all of a sudden, things are looking a lot easier for your team. Transcendence forced out from Diorite just in an effort to keep the team up and running, and that still might not be enough to give them the fight win advantage. Manually from beyond the grave gets the Venom Mine kill, and as a wise man once said, we absolutely take those. And it looks like Blinn College, somehow, some way, gonna win another fight here and live another day.
Yeah, that's a good trade-off, too. I mean, even if you die at the end, right, it's still spawn number advantage either side, really, because they're still as far away, pretty much in the neutral area. But for right now, Blinn College is working out. That's what's working. You saw how far back they got forced because of this dive composition. If your head isn't found by Manually, you can just dive them, and you've got the potential to win out this fight. Look, they're all positioned around so that they can dive right in.
Right, they want to dive right in as quick as possible. Gravitic Flux answered out Primal Rage. Crim can't wall climb fast enough, and Proto also missing. All of a sudden, 90 seconds left on the clock. Cyber has found an elimination, but the elimination may just not be enough. The bubble completely closes Manually out of the fight until... No, misses, just barely finds the body shot on Pink Piggy, but that body shot may still be enough to take that Genji down to Blade, just 10% around the corner. Great try on to Diorite, body shot found, and Crim with the cleanup kill. Here comes Kitsune, a desperate attempt to make up for that missing support, and I don't think I even saw Vader. I believe that was an accidental headshot.
That was.
An elimination regardless. You found it. Your team has the speed. They've got the momentum, and they've got 60 seconds to try and finish this map out.
But I mean, for both sides here, this is one ultimate going to be on each side. This is what determines it. Infrasight versus Blade. Which one gets better value? Pink Piggy needs to come up big here, at least 2 kills for them to even have a chance at this because there's no support ults, there's no second DPS, no tank ults either. It's up to these guys. What a shot
Oh, you knew she was there. You knew she was holding that angle. You walked right out into it face first. Not where you want to be. A very difficult spot, but at least there's plenty of time to recontest. Your tank can respawn, and you can go in as a full 5. Pink Piggy trying to bait out that headshot, but something tells me manually not going to fall for that so easily. The blade in the back pocket. No support is there to catch it out. Maybe the Suzu, but this Widowmaker, they pop everything. They try to keep that Widow up and running, and it looks like they are going to be able to do so manually. Gets up close and personal with Pink Piggy. They're going to lose that 1v1. A very courageous move, and it's going to cost them. Perhaps the hubris finally getting the best of them in that moment. However, the rest of Brian and Stratton still there to keep this cart wheeling and dealing. It's going to be less than 5-meter differential. I don't think a recontest is in the cards, and Brian and Stratton fight tooth and nail to come out 3-1 on Circuit Royale. A phenomenal job.
I mean, wow. I mean, at the end there, the biggest thing, I don't want to say it was a mistake, but the biggest thing was there, they held on to the blade. Pink Piggy had it. And look, you got to recognize as well, that Immor field wasn't there, and they didn't have the Kiriko up there either, who had the Suzu dropped already. So that was a goal signal for them, and unfortunately, nothing happened. You had chances to pull off the blade there for Blinn. You had chances to defend themselves. You only had one ultimate on the side of Brian and Stratton. Unfortunately, Blinn can't pull it off. Pink Piggy isn't able to pull out the blade and was just too far deep, no healing in sight, and that's what allowed Brian and Stratton to just walk right in and get that victory for themselves. So congratulations out to the Bobcats on a job well done, and they're in the championship game now. So this is going to be an interesting championship game, right? No number 1 seed, no number 2 seed in here. So now the championship game, the seeding just goes all haywire. But right now, again, Brian and Stratton looking pretty good, especially in this meta. When you consider their depth that they had, the flexibility they had, perfect, and manually on fire. If they can keep this up to the championship game, manually going to be your MVP of the whole thing right now.
Absolutely, and I think we did see a bit of a tunnel vision there from Blinn College. They were so worried about the Widowmaker, they didn't even think, we have Blade and they have no support ultimates. I mean, it really could have been easy to get in, find those supports, and possibly win the fight, but hindsight is 2020 after all, and Brian and Stratton, they win those semifinals. They secure their spot in grand finals, and hopefully, we're going to get the chance to talk to somebody in just a minute. We're going to throw it to a short break here, try to get an interview, so we'll see you right back here with some more Overwatch 2 content in just a couple of minutes.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
Hey, what's up? It's Honix back at it again to bring you the sickest clips from ECAC. But listen guys, here's the thing. Overwatch 2 still isn't out, and it's been so long that I understand what's happening in the Valorant clips now. I don't know how I could have let this happen. Anyways, let's check out the action from week 2 of ECAC. First up, we've got Nico Baka, who's got a need for speed.
But they have to be careful here. That kick up not quite in their favor. Patrick has to be quick to him, and Nico Baka, he's just soaring through the sky with way too much pace.
Yeah, you knew this was coming. When this one lingered up in the air for a bit too long from Janiel's touch, Patrick tried to go up for this one, but Nico, like we said, he's been the fastest player in this lobby the entire...
Just a friendly reminder that fireworks always add pizzazz to your points.
Of this series.
Good read there by Chalk. Because if he didn't place down that block, that would have been a really early stock lead that he would have gotten. And
wow, absolutely sniped out of midair.
Everyone is in flux when Mount St. Mary's is on the point.
That piece, and that is the bulk of your healing if you're Emery and Henry. Now you're coming in with both DPS ult and the Shatter, but again, a massive Gravitic Flux comes out from Mount St. Mary's, stops them in their tracks before they can even get started.
Yeah, the Tac Vines are gonna deal the final blows to several members of Emery and Henry.
Eve has got beef with BSU and wants everyone to know it.
One situation left to clutch it out.
I'm a little bit afraid
afraid here that the wide swing's gonna come out, but Ian's waiting. Ian is being a little bit patient here. Eve is not going to be able to get the first one, and maybe if Ian was able to wait there a little bit longer, Eve would not have been able to get that free.
Someone, not me, is going to have to tell Talo Halo that sharing isn't always caring.
Gonna feed it because right now Halo be fitting into it 59% before they have been touched for even a point of a percent in this counting. There is Arsene, but he may disappear just as quickly as he has up here. Oh my goodness, Kilomiles, that is a 0 to death if I have ever seen one. Halo.
Don't let your guard down. You never know when Rhino will come charging in.
Is all the way back. That just goes to show how much they're not wanting to make it, but Rhino with all the control gets the one on the board.
Talk about getting one in there. That he actually picks it up initially from a mini pass to himself. That an expert is expecting an expert to do something expertly, right? That is just about as simple as it gets, right? Just literally boiling it down to more basic Rocket League right there. Oh my God! And again, Rhino does it twice in about 30 seconds after no scores.
We're bringing it around town with Chowan University.
Big fights out short. Town, though, just gets the better of it. Great spray control. Takes 2 down with him, and already Chowan is looking at a 2-0 right now. Going to try an entry onto the site with quickness. Not willing to take his foot off the pedal, and Town's got a third. The last 2 coming from CT, and Town wants to put the nail in the coffin right here, right now. One's there. He's going to hear them both. He has a head in front of him. 4 before he goes down, and all it takes is Dusty to finish this one off.
Last but certainly not least, Big J5 coming in hot with a big 5K.
And Kentucky, they may get the second point for free.
Oh,
great
that
shot from
headshot.
Big J.
The
Oh,
second
another
headshot.
one!
What?
He's got another dragon already.
The third?
Wait, he finds 3. Big J, he's looking for a 4th. Oh my God, he finds it! He is single-handedly destroying Kentucky right now. Oh my goodness. 4 eliminations, 1 Hanzo, and a brand new Dragons Online. The question...
Wow, I miss these awesome clips, and it's only week 2, so make sure to keep up with the action on Twitch at ECAC_esports, Mondays and Tuesdays at 8, and Wednesdays at 7. And make sure to follow their Twitter at ECAC_esports. And thank you to our partner Esports U and to you for hanging out with me today. See you next time!
What is going on, everybody? And just one more welcome back. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't get an interview, but we didn't want to just leave you hanging. We wanted to let you know there is actually a little bit more ECAC happening before we bring this split to a close. That'll be on Monday. The R6 of finals, which is very exciting. The Rainbow Six Grand Finals are going to be happening on Monday, so please go give that a check out. But unfortunately, that's all we've got for you here tonight. I've been Septilence. That's Clutch Key. Thank you to all 4 teams for coming out tonight. Thank you to our observer, Cool Scoots, our producer, Colton, and of course, all of you for watching. We love each and every one of you. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other, and we'll see you next time.
My name is Jacob. I'm 21 and it's my first year in this school. I already been to community college for the last 2 years, but I transferred here. It's a whole new program.
What made you transfer?
I wanted to do something different. I already have an associate's degree in business administration, and I wanted to come to this school and do audio production, just like music engineering stuff.
So what do you want to do with that?
The main goal is to work in like music studios and like help with like the music creation process. Anywhere kind of in the audio recording realm is fine with me.
And do you have a go-to genre of music that you like?
I don't know. It's all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah, no judgment.
It's all over the place.
So how do you like the program that you're in now? Do you like your school?
Yes, I really do like this school, and with this whole esport thing, I think it just made it a little bit better because like it's it's new, you know. You don't do it. Not everyone, you know, has it, and it's
Mhm.
something that I'm very interested in and have been interested in for a while.
You didn't have esports at your old school?
I want to say there was a club, but I didn't know anything of it.
This is your first time being part of a collegiate esports team then?
Yes.
And how do you like it? Like how do you feel about it?
I love it, to be honest. Growing up, I played baseball through senior year of my high school. I wasn't like doing anything traditional sport wise in college. It wasn't until this year that I was like, oh, because like I saw it, like I saw like a poster hanging up. I was like, oh, esports, let's just go do it. I really like it though. Something cool, something new. My friends like it, so I'm like, cool.
What are your games that you play?
I play Valorant for the school. On like the side, I've been playing Fortnite recently, and I play Osu sometimes.
So how does it feel being a part of the team? Do you like your team?
Yes, I do. I pretty much made friends with all of them. Obviously, I have met them. Since a lot of things have been remote recently, I still have met them, and they're very nice kids. Our arena is being built at the moment. The Valorant team should be getting in there first, so I'm very excited to play in there.
What do you do to improve yourself in game, and do you take that strategy into your everyday life as well?
For in-game, I try and play every day. That's kind of like the one thing I try to do. Even if I have like a little burnout from it, maybe from like the previous day, I still try to get on and do something. Of course, you watch YouTube. There's a millions of things that you can watch on YouTube. I like to watch different content creators in that niche just to like inspire me to play a little bit more, you know. Do I carry it into my everyday life? I do. I'm very into like music production. There's a lot of things you can do, like the same thing. You do it every day. You watch YouTube in that niche. You take things you learn and you apply it. There's a lot of similarities of things. Like if you want to do something, you very much have to dive deep into that niche of things you want to do.
If you had to guess or just kind of spitball here, how many hours a week do you think you spend gaming?
Honestly, I've never thought about it. I'm on my computer almost every day. It's up there. It's up there. It's up there. Between playing with friends and kind of just doing stuff by myself, it's up there.
You spoke about burnout when it comes to playing, and you play every day. What do you do to kind of get yourself back into the zone, or what do you do when you're experiencing burnout?
It kind of goes back to like watching content creators, like the people I watch on YouTube. I'll see if they post anything new, or I'll just watch whatever they have, and I'll get inspired to do it, and I'll just be like, all right, time to hop on. Even if I don't, not feeling it, I'll try to do something.
Would you say there's anyone on your team that really stands out to you or kind of motivates you to play?
Yes. One kid on our team, his name's Alex. He is Diamond 2. Diamond 1 or Diamond 2 in Valorant. So he's up there. He only really plays with us. He plays on his own, but he plays with us during games and sometimes afterwards. Trying to be at his level, I think, would be very the goal. So it kind of like inspires you to kind of like keep going. Anyone really that's higher ranked than you kind of inspires you to like, all right, you want to push yourself to be where they are. And that's kind of what I've been doing recently. There are people like that.
For you, since this is your first time being on a collegiate team, do you have any advice to people who may be looking to join a team or aren't sure if they should or not?
I say just go for it. When I saw the poster in the school, I was like, maybe they have like, you know, Valorant team, whatever. At the time, I kind of doubted my ability, right? I kind of doubted my ability because like I was a low rank. I know I could hold my own in the game, but I didn't know how I would like compare. But I think you just have to go for it, because if you don't, how would you know if you don't go for it?
Would you say that the people on your team helped you out?
Yeah, for sure. I think people who are higher ranked than you are like they teach you. You obviously learn on your own, but there's a lot of things that you can get taught from your teammates and just how they play.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I really appreciate it.
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win.